I think we all know that the reason Adam agreed to come back to the channel is that I glazed him up so nicely the last time he was on here at the beginning of his playing for keeps episode. You know, Adam has an enormous ego, so he wants to hear people talking, saying nice things about him all the time. I'm not going to do it though. I'm not going to glaze him up today, especially after Larry already glazed him up on Twitter. Said that I need to learn things from Adam about producing on my channel. One of the more insulting things that has ever been said to me is that I need to learn how to produce from Adam. But I am happy to have Adam on here today in his first week right now of doing YouTube content on his new channel now. Adam, how's that going?
It's going pretty well. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's nice just kind of doing my own thing, having control over it. I'm having a good time with that. So it's been good so far. I did 2 shows today. Probably will go back to doing 1 tomorrow. But yeah, it's been fun.
I caught the first one. I was admittedly impressed. Again, I'm not going to glaze you up, but I was impressed to see that you did you do your own overlay for like
Yeah.
in StreamYard. You set up your new thing. It does look good. So I was kind of impressed by that. That you had your new overlay set up ready to go when you start. I only caught the first show so far. Today, I think your first MLB show was done before I woke up this morning, so was not there for that one. And then I didn't realize you were doing 2, so I missed the second one as well.
Yeah,
The first
early
one
start
went
today.
well. Yeah.
But yeah, the overlay was all me. The logo design, like that stuff, was someone on Twitter did it and sent them to me, and they looked awesome. And then I just went into Canva and put the words "the" and "show" and my face, and that became the graphic.
Yeah, I mean, how come nobody did that for me? I mean, I launched my YouTube channel. Nobody came in and said like, "Hey, I'll make a logo for you." I had to go and make my own logo, the best ball whenever logo. How lucky can you be to just have people randomly like, "Here you go. Here's a logo for you. You can use this," and you're just ready to go.
Yeah, it was great. And it's kind of funny because like that's a huge reason I've been putting off doing my YouTube channel
Yeah.
in general. And then finally I was just like, all right, I'm doing this. I told people I was doing it to like force myself. I expected to spend all day Sunday like working on that kind of shit. And then I like wake up Sunday, or before I even went to bed Saturday night, I get a DM like, hey, check these out.
That was honestly a bigger obstacle for me than it should have been. Also, just like I was like, I want to have a logo for this best ball and everything. And I sort of had the idea of the whatever hands, to symbolize whenever, but like at the end of the day, like Canva just makes it super easy to make a logo. And like, it looks okay. I can't tell if this logo is complete shit. Just like looks like if like an actual graphic designer would be like, that is awful. But I like it. I think it's a fine logo for what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah,
So,
I think it looks good.
Yeah, glad to hear that. Steven says it's good. I think that's what it looks like. Neil's logo is beer. Yeah. I'm drinking wine. I'm fancy tonight.
I almost
Adam,
did that.
yeah, you're drinking beer though. You have a beer. You did not completely refuse to drink with me tonight, right?
No, I don't have any. I don't have a beer.
You don't have a beer?
No.
Oh, you have a cold brew. That's coffee.
Yeah. Coffee in case I need it.
Oh yeah, you said that you had a cold brew, and I just internally that's like in my mind
yeah.
that was beer. Okay, Adam is once again refusing to drink with me. Maybe after the first draft, if we can get him to do a second draft with us, maybe we can chat and try to convince Adam to have a beer or a whiskey or something.
Yeah, all I have here is a couple bottles of wine, but I could get to that. I was gonna drink wine during the show, and then I was telling you, like, I sat down to like start getting ready for the show, and just got really tired, and I was like, I probably shouldn't just start drinking wine now if I want to finish the show.
Yeah, that is fair. Yeah, no, we're not in the business of peer pressure here, but chat, if you want to peer pressure Adam, you can go ahead. We are going to
Adam doesn't drink at home. The bottles of wine that I just referenced, I bought them in, I think, October. I bought 3. I drank half of one with a girl that I was hanging out with in October. That one is still half full, and the other 2 haven't been opened. I really do not drink at home.
Yeah, that's good for you. I need to stop drinking at home because I do drink plenty at home. But it's good for you that you don't. I think we're just going to jump right into a stream here. Do you have anything else you want to say about your new YouTube channel?
No, I do have something bigger coming soon, but I can't really say anything about that yet. So
cool.
The announcement of an announcement.
The announcement of an announcement. All right. Yeah, look for it, and I assume you'll announce on Twitter, in your Discord, etc.
All of the above.
All of the above. So yeah, just look for Adam's stuff. He will have an announcement soon. This stream, we are going to be doing at least one best ball stream. Hopefully Adam will be able to join us for more, but we'll see after we get through this one. And we're just jumping right in. Oh, and this one, if you want to join us, Plenty of spots left to fill this draft. So come on, join this Best Ball Mania stream with us. Should be good to go in a few minutes. Yeah, are you drinking the half full bottle of wine?
No,
Okay,
God,
okay.
no.
Just making sure. Just making sure.
No.
I think like a box might last that long.
Yeah,
Maybe?
I never got into box wine, and then it was like recently. Actually, same girl brought over box wine, and like a month later, I'm still drinking it. And I'm like, why did I never get into this? But
That's what I'm drinking right now. The
yeah,
enormous glass of wine that I have here is boxed wine, and it's always pretty good. Like, and I'm also not like a wine snob, obviously.
no,
So maybe some like my wife doesn't really drink a ton of boxed wine. She will occasionally have a glass of mine, but I can't tell the difference between good wine and bad wine. So boxed wine is perfect for me.
yeah, I can't either, and it's great because it saves me a lot of money. I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's like $20 for I want to say like 4 bottles in a box.
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah, and I'm still an asshole. Like I'll go to the liquor store and spend more than I need to on wine just to like because I feel like I should, but I can't tell the difference.
Yeah. That's why I get that the wanting to be fancier than you are,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I've accepted that I can't tell the difference. Maybe someday I will. I mean, my wife is really into wine. Her parents are like in part of a wine club. We occasionally join them there, so they all like know more about wine. Maybe eventually I'll pick up the taste, the difference between good and bad wine. But
yeah.
now,
I'm fully in the like if I go to a restaurant, pretending like I know what I'm doing, but absolutely, like, you can give me the worst bottle of wine and I'm going to tell you it tastes good because I can't tell.
Oh, me too. My wife and I have a running conversation where so she has like the wine app where you can like rate wines, and she frequently will like ask me what do you think of this wine, and I'll say it's really good. What would you rate it out of 5 stars? And I'll say 5 stars, and then she's like, okay, I'm gonna give it 4. And it's like just like the conversation that happens over and over is like, yeah, it's always a 5 for me. I'm never dissatisfied with my bottle of wine.
Yep, same page.
All right, we are coming up on. I mean, this is taking longer than I would have expected to fill.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is May, but
True, but still, and I guess they did just launch 3 new contests today, so maybe people are jumping into all the smaller contests on Underdog instead of getting all their best ball manias in. We also just learned that the NFL schedule doesn't come out till next week, which is kind of disappointing.
I did see that. I didn't know when it normally comes out, but I just saw them say it was delayed.
I think it normally comes out tomorrow.
Okay.
From what I had heard last week, I was kind of expecting it to come out on Thursday of this week. So I think this is a little bit later than usual. Pigskin a Blanket is going to be drafting with us. Good to hear.
Yeah, so I feel like this is unusual because like I've tried to jump in your drafts when you're drafting live before, and I can never get in because they fill so quick.
Yeah, it was a little bit different in that it was only like 2 people in when we started. I wonder if people were trying to draft with me and had already like jumped in the one before, possibly. I don't know. Adam, did you max out BBM last year?
I think so.
Here,
I am pretty sure I did. I couldn't tell you how I did.
Yeah, I feel like you throughout the year you had like lineups in the top 10,000 leaderboard.
I think I had a few. I didn't have anything really good. I don't think I made the finals last year.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, last year I think was the first year I did not make either the DraftKings or the Underdog final.
Your highest exposed player was Kyron Williams last year, as you can
that
see
that
on
I
the
did know.
screen now. Yeah. So that part went really well for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that one, I mean, it kind of pissed me off because like I really liked him and I even kind of tweeted about him. And then it got to where I was like, okay, I'm taking Kyron Williams in like every draft. I should probably just like readjust my rankings and start taking some other running backs here. So I started mixing in like Chase Edmonds and like other guys that were completely useless.
Yeah, that's I was all in on Rico Dowdle last year as my this thing has been happening, Adam, where the draft will start like right when it starts, it does this where it like flickers on and off. So I'm gonna close this and open it back up. Super annoying here. I mean, it's not a huge deal because I can just I can usually get back in before it gets to my turn, but just a little bit annoying.
Cole Turner was my other like really popular late pick that did nothing.
Do you? I know that you. This is a little early for you to be in on, um, to be in for NFL best ball. But have you been paying attention to like? I mean, you got to be pretty excited about the new Commanders rookies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about Daniels. I'm excited about McCaffrey. I don't know anybody else they drafted.
Ben Sinnott is
Oh, that's
the
right.
new.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tight end, right?
a lot of people are excited about Ben Sinnott. So that's why you brought up Cole Turner. I'm thinking like he's like the new Cole Turner for you.
Right. Yeah, I did know that because I remember when I saw he got drafted, I was like, oh shit, I guess I can't go Cole Turner this year.
Yeah. Do you have any strong opinions about the first round
Of this or of
of
the
the of what we're no this what we're doing now? Yeah, of this
draft?
draft.
I do not.
Do see some names that I recognize from chat. I see Pigskin and Blanket obviously is here. Lundar is here. I mean we have the 9th pick. Nobody really falls to us. We kind of get the Puka Nakua is like the chalky pick here. Do you have a preference between any of these? Puka Nakua, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson,
I mean,
etc.?
I'm incredibly biased against Nakua for no reason other than like when guys come out of nowhere, I just end up being really, really biased against them. So like it's a spot where I would just naturally be grabbing AJ Brown, I think.
All right, let's do AJ Brown. It's a little bit of a different look going AJ Brown at 9, and honestly, it's kind of a toss up for me between those two. And as you can see here, so the flashing screen thing only happens like at the start, and then it's good from here on out. So kind of a weird thing.
I feel like not drafting Nakua on Underdog isn't as scary as on DraftKings too.
True, because he could have 100 receptions or something.
Right. Yeah. By like week 6.
Yeah. All right, coming back around to us. Double running backs of the turn for juniors. It's interesting.
I was trying to keep up with who was being picked, and I'm already lost. So,
all right, we are on the clock. Drake London is the top of my ranks. Jonathan Taylor is the top of ADP. Do you have a preference? Devontae Adams, Chris Olave?
Drake London.
Yeah, good. Same page. He's a little bit polarizing just because he hasn't done it yet. So I think some people are hesitant about drafting a guy this early who hasn't really shown any fantasy upside. But I feel like it's just a totally new situation for him. So I'm in on the talent too.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously, I would prefer it if this were still like 3rd or 4th round Drake London, then you could just get nothing but upside essentially. But obviously, the market's corrected, but I think it's right. I mean, Cousins is a known commodity, obviously coming off an injury, but assuming he's fine, like he's a known commodity. There's never been a question about London's talent. It's just been Atlanta.
Yeah. Are you a Cousins fan? Being he was on Washington previously. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he got a bad rap in Washington. I think he gets hurt because people don't realize like how few good quarterbacks there are. So
yeah,
fans are just like, oh, he's never won a Super Bowl. You need to get a new quarterback. And it's like he's one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the league. And like, yeah, he probably won't win a Super Bowl because most people don't win a Super Bowl. Like he's not Patrick Mahomes. And that's fine. Like he's still a good quarterback. And we've had such bad quarterbacks for like my entire life that the fact that he kind of just got run out by the fans was just insane to me.
Yeah. And honestly, I was in when the Vikings got him. And then after like a year, I was like totally like, all right, this guy's probably not the answer. And then by the time he left, we were all like, everybody was in on him. Like he was so good his last year before he got hurt in Minnesota. And now I'm like, yeah, it's fun having the new rookie quarterback, but he was definitely like, he's good enough to win a Super Bowl. If he's on the right team. Like the Vikings defense just sucked was the issue last year, but
right. And yeah, like that's the thing that's so dumb about the Super Bowl argument is like, you're telling me that like Kirk Cousins can't do something that Trent Dilfer did if he's
Joe
on, like
Flacco.
Right.
Yeah. Agreed. Are you going to do any best ball content you think on your channel? Or are you just sticking to DFS?
Probably DFS for now. Kind of depends on the announcement of the announcement. But yeah, DFS for now. Might get into some best ball.
Cool. Seems like a lot of people have been realizing that best ball is just easier content to do. Like I see a lot of people announcing like I'm doing best ball content this year. And I'm like,
it's
damn
enjoyable.
It, me too. But
it's enjoyable. Fun. It's a break from the day-to-day just grind of talking about the same players over. Like it's still you're talking about the same players, but like, you know,
there's a lot of them.
Right.
And
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it's a different, because of drafts being dynamic, like it's always going to be different. Whereas,
Yeah.
I basically at this point I can do a baseball show, like my show in the morning when I'm looking for the first time, and I can tell you the pricing on guys before I even look, because I know it's not going to be that different than yesterday or the day before or the day before that.
Right. All right. So our pick is coming up. We could take Devontae Smith and just hope that nobody behind us would take Jalen Hurts. We could take Jalen Hurts and okay, Devontae Smith goes. We could still take Jalen Hurts, or we could push it now that Devontae Smith is gone. Do you have any thoughts on?
I like Hurts
Do we just
because
do
we
it
have
now?
AJ Brown, right? Yeah.
We do have AJ Brown. Like we could go Cup and try to push Hurts, or we could just, I don't know.
So Cup's or Hurts ADP is like 37. We're at 33.
Yeah.
I feel like we should just go Hurts.
All right, I'm good with that. I like Cup, but also like I don't like him that much better than all the other players in this range.
And we are like we already have two good receivers too.
Yeah.
Plus now, like we don't have to, like we can just basically ignore quarterback.
Right. True. Yeah. Like we can take a late quarterback if it comes to it. Yeah.
Where's Jaden Daniels go now? Semi-related.
Like 107, I want to say. Like right like after pick 100, but not by
so
much.
Where Anthony Richardson was going last year.
Anthony. I think that he moved up at like
he did.
later in the
he
year.
was like 70 or 80, I think, by the time we got to the season. But
all right, so this is our ranks. If we go to ADP, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Travis Etienne. By rank, it would be Josh Jacobs at the top also, but I would be fine taking Tank Dell, Mark Andrews, whatever. What are you thinking?
God, I love Derrick Henry on that team.
Do we just do it?
I mean, we can if you want to. I don't know how you feel about taking a running back at this point.
So I think it's okay. I think it's okay to take a running, like just like a kind of a hero running back. I feel like he's still like, even though it's fourth round, I feel like Derrick Henry is like good enough that I don't hate him as just like your anchor running back, and then probably don't take one for a while.
Yeah, that's generally my preferred approach. Like, obviously, I don't force it if it's not there, but it's just, especially with him on the new team, like, he could lose rushing touchdowns to Lamar and all that, but like, there's the potential for him to just fall in the end zone so many times.
He had 20 touchdowns this year. It would not be that shocking on that team. Yeah. Chris says that the schedule was supposed to come out on Thursday. I didn't see why it was delayed, but that was my impression. Brian drafting with us, but on DraftKings. Absolutely right. Back in the day vibes. We used to do, but you and I, we only really did MLB content together. Like I think we did a couple NBA shows maybe, but
we were primarily MLB, and then we did like the one draft show last year while I was taking a break.
Yeah. But like, 90% of it was last summer. You and I were the MLB guys at Stochastic for a while. And it was great because we just learned that I could just ask the questions. You could answer the questions. It was perfect for both of us.
Yeah. Very, very efficient show. Not a lot of extracurriculars.
Yeah. We did take Hurts up before Josh Allen. So that was one reason I kind of thought like we could maybe push it because Josh Allen is still there. And most people prefer to just take Josh Allen first anyway. But I think I like our start.
I feel like if it had been that situation, but a different quarterback other than Hurts, I would have probably wanted to wait, try and get like one other really good skill player and then get Hurts. Cause like, obviously that gives you a really good team, but one, I'm just a huge Jalen Hurts in fantasy fan. And like the upside for him is just so high because of the running. Like if he'd been a non-running quarterback that just, fit well with our team, like I'm not as upset about missing out on him if we don't get him.
Yeah. This is a good question from Steven. Have you watched the Tom Brady? Oh, this isn't it. Have you watched the Tom Brady roast yet?
I haven't yet. I've seen a good amount of the clips and thought they were hilarious. I just haven't gotten around to carving out 3 hours of time to watch it.
I think
Have you seen it?
I might have half an hour left or something. Yeah. Okay. I've been doing it bit by bit. It is. Yeah. I'm not going to sit there for 3 hours watching a roast. It's for the most part, very, very funny. At times, it's a little bit cringy sometimes with the people who aren't that funny trying to do humor. Like, it's a little bit awkward for me at times, but ultimately, I really enjoyed it. Have really enjoyed it so far. We'll see. We'll see if the last half hour holds up.
Yeah, like I'm kind of disappointed that I've seen so many clips because like I feel like obviously I don't know the order and I haven't caught all the deliveries and everything, but like I kind of know what gets said, so
Yeah.
that kind of sucks.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. All right, we're coming around to our pick. Marquise Brown goes at 55. Interesting. We could go get your guy Terry McLaurin. Also not opposed to taking one of these tight ends. We have Drake London, so we could build on to that stack. How do you feel? Do you want to go Terry McLaurin? We going in on Washington, or do I?
I think you go either. I think you go either Andrews or Pitts because either way you're getting another stack there. Like you're either getting a lot. You're getting like
Henry.
Like you're getting a lot of Baltimore's touchdowns. I think I like Andrews.
I'm good with that. I've taken so much Andrews. Like Andrews at the back end of the 5th round is kind of insane to me. So
yeah,
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, like I think I could have gone either way. Maybe I don't know. Like Pitts, I feel like seeing Pitts right next to Andrews, it's kind of like don't you have to take Andrews? But at the same time, thinking about the fact that we took Drake London in the 2nd round, you need Atlanta's offense to be really good. And if Atlanta's offense is really good, Kyle Pitts is probably also good.
Yeah. Yeah, like in general, I definitely have Mark Andrews, even though I have them back to back in my ranks. I do kind of consider as Mark Andrews like a little bit of a tier gap there, but not like nothing huge.
Yeah.
Juniors adds George Kittle. Does he have? Interesting. Can't tell what he's doing. He did Zay Flowers, but not Lamar. Oh, we're on the clock. We could still go Pitts. Just do. I've done a lot of bully tight end. Just like get it out of the way.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Yeah,
especially like with those two, they have the potential to be so good.
Yeah, one of them could just be in the flex, like most weeks.
And like obviously, I haven't paid much or any attention to best ball so far, but generally, I feel like this wide receiver range is where it gets to like there's a lot of talent, but there's a lot of like interchangeable. Like, yeah, these guys have upside, but they also could suck type pieces where I don't generally have strong preferences.
Yeah, and you can see that. I mean, just looking at like these last 2 rows here, it's like
right.
I don't know. I don't feel that strongly about that one of these guys is going to separate and be the best wide receiver from this group.
Yeah, I can make the bull case for any of them, but I can also make the bear case for any of them, and Rice is a very easy one.
Yeah, Rice, I mean, I have no idea what to make of this latest incident with the photographer. Like I was like after the car accident, I was like, okay, people are really like letting him fall too far, and I was like, I'm just going to be all in on this guy. And I was like, well, this is just another wrinkle that I don't need here with the a second assault. Like, come on.
Is he actually going in the 6th round, or is that like an anomaly?
6th, sometimes 7th round. Yeah,
that seems insane to me. Like, there's so much downside risk there, and like obviously there is upside too, but I feel like that's just skewed really heavily towards like not accounting for all of the downside.
So he was going in like pre-draft stuff. He was going in late 2nd round, early 3rd round. So this is So he's fallen quite a bit with the news. And I don't know, like after the news came out, like most of the fall has happened after like there were rumors last week or so that he could be suspended 8 games. And that's when he really started falling from like the 4th round to the 5th, 6th round.
And that was before the photographer thing.
Yeah. And then, and that was like during that period, I was like, there's no way he's going to be suspended 8 games for this. Like with the players union so strong. We've had this conversation on the stream before, but I was like, I'm not that, like, I don't think he's going to miss. I think he might miss 4 games. So I thought like people are estimated how much time he's going to miss, and he's falling too far. And now I'm like, well, now we add on this new wrinkle, and they might actually want to punish him now that he's keeps being an idiot. I don't know.
Yeah, it's never good when you get the second incredibly stupid thing immediately after the first.
Yeah. And that, I mean, like last year, I had been treating it like the Jordan Addison thing from last year, where it was like suddenly people were just letting him fall, and you could just get this big discount on Jordan Addison, and that worked out really well last year. But now it's like twice makes me a little bit concerned.
I'd forgotten about the Addison thing, but yeah, that was a perfect one where everybody's losing their minds, and it's like, yeah, nothing's going to happen to this guy.
Right, it's a speeding ticket. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that wasn't even a DUI, was it? Wasn't he just
No,
like it was like
just
it was
speeding.
just
He was going
reckless
super
driving.
fast. Yeah,
Right.
it
Yeah.
was like, yeah, but it was not even a felony in Minnesota. So it was like,
Right.
he's not going to go to jail or something. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe the league will suspend him a couple games, but yeah, people were definitely downgraded him way too much for that. And there were some people for that like had the narrative of like, well, now he's just showing that he's an idiot. And I'm like, he's an NFL player. There's a lot of idiots in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm not
And
gonna
right.
not draft him because of that.
Yeah, and that was also like I think I remember talking to you about it because like it was in Minnesota, and you were saying it's like an open highway, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
it was
So it's like I mean, like yes, it's a dumb thing to do, but the dude's like 21, 22, whatever. He's driving whatever car he's driving on an open highway in the middle of
we're
the
on
night.
the clock. We're on the clock.
Uh,
Keon Coleman, Deontay Johnson. If we go by my ranks, it would be those are the top two. Keon Coleman, DeAndre Hopkins,
uh,
Christian Watson, Deontay Johnson.
I think I like Keon Coleman.
I do too. I have
I mean,
not
one, I
drafted.
really like Keon Coleman, and
He's just a fun guy. Yeah,
right.
we just want to cheer for Keon Coleman.
Yeah, and like
to...
that's like another kind of example, like I was talking about with wide receivers in that range, where he could just be really good right out of the gate.
Yeah. He had a bad combine. Like he was slower than people thought he was going to be. But like I was listening to Field Yates was on an ETR podcast, and he was just saying like he's a lot better than the combine showed. And like there was by some metric at the combine, he was actually in Field was suggesting that this is actually the better metric for determining how fast a player is going to be in game. And he was saying like he did really well by that. So
yeah,
probably being downgraded way too much based on one underperformance at the combine.
Yeah, and like obviously the Bills weren't that concerned about it.
Right. We could go one of these two, DeAndre Hopkins, Deontay Johnson. We could go down to Jalen Warren.
I feel like I want to leave those running backs alone. God, Johnson's gonna get so many targets, but they're coming from Bryce Young.
Yeah. We could pair Jalen Hurts with a late round Bryce Young if we did it. I mean, same thing with DeAndre Hopkins, Will Levis.
Yeah. I guess Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, let's do it. I feel like there's a higher likelihood that Bryce turns it up this year than Will Levis. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think that has to be the assumption just based on
draft capital
priors. Yeah.
I don't feel that great about it because
no.
I also think like Will Levis can chuck it. Yeah, also true. I'm down the Bills with Brady calling on the Bills.
I don't have an answer for that question. And like,
I don't either. To be honest. Yeah. I can't give you a smart answer to that question. I have not factored it in at all. The change in play calling. I assume they're still going to be like pretty good just because they have Josh Allen, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I always end up just relying on the talent, or for the most part, relying on the talent. It does, bite you in the ass when you do it 3 years in a row with Arthur Smith, for example. But
yeah. There are coaches that I do like factor in the play calling. I don't have a strong read on Brady, so can't give you a smart answer.
It's so difficult for me, and like it's one of those where I think if you really, really, really do know ball and can put everything together, it's an advantage. But the problem is the conversation around coordinators and play calling and stuff. It generally isn't as nuanced as it probably should be, and it doesn't factor in like who their personnel was and what they were doing. So like all the time you'll see, oh, this coordinator was great, and then he goes somewhere else where he has like shitty players, and he doesn't make those guys great. He ends up, and then after a year at that job, the narrative is this guy's terrible at calling plays, and it's like no, he's probably just like normal at it, and he had really good players, and now he doesn't.
Last year with Dallas, it was I early on in like my early stuff, I was all over Dallas because I was like, this is just these are all good players. Like I'm just going to bet on the Dallas offense. And then I started hearing the narrative of like, well, they're never going to throw the ball. This is going to be a run first offense. Like you really don't want to be taking Dak. Like why would you take Dak? This is going to be a run first offense. And then of course we get to the year and CeeDee Lamb is the number one receiver. Dak way overperformed everything because they threw the ball a lot. Like a lot of play callers also like change what they're going to do based on personnel. So it's tough to play that game sometimes.
And it's always just so results based too. Like speaking of Dallas, if I remember correctly, Kellen Moore at one point was like the next offensive genius coordinator. Yeah. And then before he was even out of Dallas, it was like, this guy is terrible. Like he fell off so bad just based on how Dallas as a team was performing. And it's the same guy.
Yep. Jaden Daniels goes before Caleb Williams in this one.
As he should.
as he should. I mean, he's a Russian
I mean,
quarterback.
yeah, I'll say that's like I joking about that. Maybe I don't know. Like I don't actually have an opinion there, but I feel pretty comfortable that Jaden Daniels should be going ahead of Brock Purdy by more than 2 picks.
Yeah, and
Maybe I'm wrong.
his ADP is after Brock Purdy. I think that you're probably. It was interesting again listening to that ETR show with Field Yates. You guys should check it out if you haven't already. But Field Yates again making the point that Jaden Daniels, even though he is small, so it's like I think a lot of people, like myself included, I've been concerned about like he's just so brittle. Like he's gonna get tackled and break a bone and like nervous
Right.
about that. And Field Yates was making the point that he has like compared him to Gumby. It's like kind of like he has like an elasticity, or maybe he can actually take a hit better than some like bigger boned receiver or quarterbacks, which I thought was kind of an interesting point.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me any excuse to take him, and I will. Okay, we are on the clock. Lundar goes Benson. We could take James Conner post ADP. Brian Robinson, go for one of your Washington guys.
I think either Connor or Mike Williams.
Don't love Mike Williams, so I'm gonna hope that
Yeah,
I know that Arizona's offensive line is supposed to be good this year. I really like Trey Benson. He would have been maybe my pick. It would have been between these two if Londar had left Trey Benson for us. But I feel like James Conner is one of those guys, and I think this is true of a lot of people, that like I never want to click it. It's never a comfortable click for me. Like he has so many miles on him. Like one of these years he's gonna fall off, and he's just good every year.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like I never end up with James Conner, and then by week whatever, I'm always really upset that I don't have James Conner.
Yeah, and he's like if he falls, I think this is like 14 picks past ADP. Like that's a good time to take him. I think just like get your shares when you can get him as a faller. All right, we are in a little bit of a running back string going on here. Running back avalanche. So we have a quarterback, 2 running backs, 4 receivers, and 2 tight ends. I would be fine with either of. I mean, you wanted Mike Williams last time. Do you still want Mike Williams over Devin Singletary?
I mean, I don't have. It's not like a want Mike Williams. I don't really know any. Like I know he got hurt last year, and I know he's on the Jets now.
Yeah.
Samuel's kind of interesting just because it gives you a Bill stack.
True.
Not that I love it. I don't know. I think like it's probably to me it's either Singletary or Samuel probably.
All right, let's go Samuel. We did the anchor running back thing with Derrick Henry. I think we got a strong second running back in James Conner. Yeah, I think that's good call. I like the little Buffalo mini secondary stack.
Yeah, I mean, I like that we have Philly, Baltimore, and Buffalo. Like generally, that's just gonna
like
go
good
well.
Offenses.
Yeah,
agreed. Good to have you here, Parker Colonna, not Colonia, as I learned when he was on Playing for Keeps. That was last week, right? Just last week.
Yeah, I think it was last week.
Are you playing NBA Showdown tonight, Adam?
No, I didn't. I only play baseball.
I think I saw that Jalen Brunson got hurt. Does anybody have?
I didn't watch the game. I have seen 100 tweets about it though.
Yeah, let's see. I haven't seen if he has come back into the game.
The most recent thing I saw was Fred Katz say that I guess there was a play that everybody thought he got hurt on, and he said that wasn't the case. He just got hit in the nuts, and then he got hurt later on.
I saw, first of all, Underdog NBA status alert, Jalen Brunson hand in locker room Wednesday. Next up, status alert, Jalen Brunson foot questionable to return Wednesday. But he is now starting second half, they say. So he is in fact coming back.
Zay Jones visiting the Chiefs on Thursday.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, I still probably won't take him. Yeah, I did 1 pick 6 and it's dead. So I got nothing left
For NBA.
For NBA, yeah.
How's pick 6 going?
Crushing it. I've made so much money at pick 6. There are sort of some opportunities where it's just like slam dunks, like just like you're gonna win, or like I don't know. We can talk about it sometime, but there are things in pick 6. Do you have pick 6 available in?
No, we had it for like 4 days. We had it long enough for me to look at it, say, I think this is probably really beatable. I should dedicate some time to it. And then fortunately, before I did that, they were like, just kidding. You can't do this.
I love it. Like I've made, part of me just wants to stop playing DFS, but I am worried that they're just going to take away those edges. Like I have that concern with pick 6 of just they really don't want people winning a ton of money on them. Like it's not good for them if just like the sharper players are
Right.
winning all the time. So I think they might try and take away some of those advantages, which would be unfortunate.
Wait, you mean the site that is making every DFS contest as difficult for good players as they can might do
Yeah.
that in another format?
Yep. But we'll see. I'm hopeful that it'll at least take a while before that happens. But we'll see. Who's in the 2 slot? Birdoggy says this guy in the 2 slot. LOL.
I assumed he was just laughing at his team.
Yeah, I know, but he's got 3 quarterbacks.
So was that Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, and Trevor Lawrence? Yeah,
it's a bit much, but he does have DJ Moore, CeeDee Lamb. Wait, so he's mostly unstacked there. I don't know. All right, we are coming around to our pick. We did the solo stack with Jalen Hurts. We could go Kirk here because we have both Drake London and Kyle Pitts. This is right at ADP. Or we could go.
I mean, do you like any of the wide receivers? Because if you don't, then I think you go Cousins.
I do, but I also I don't think that I like these receivers down here too. So
right.
Josh Palmer is a guy I know you were looking at the ETR ranks. Josh Palmer is a guy that they have way ahead of this ADP. So,
okay.
But I've taken a good amount of him. I think we just do our quarterback.
Yeah.
Get our 2 quarterbacks done. I feel like this is a pretty strong quarterback room. We just call it here with Jalen Hurts and Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, that's kind of, I think once you have Hurts, you don't need to take a quarterback where we took Cousins, but Cousins just fits so good on that team.
Right.
And
we've already made the bet on that offense being good. So,
and that's why I asked about if you liked any of the receivers too. If there's a receiver, I really like this guy, I don't know if he's going to get back to us, then I think you take him over Cousins and you hope Cousins falls.
Yeah.
But the other thing too, and it was a strategy I used a lot last year, ended up not working out in part because every quarterback got hurt. I was going double stud quarterback a decent amount.
Yep.
And still getting pretty good teams. And my thinking was just I know people talk about it with if you can get a guy that gets injured and then returns at the right time and whatever. And it's okay, there's no way for you to actually plan that. I can plan realistically to have Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, and then just hope that Jalen Hurts carries me 1 week and Josh Allen carries me the next week in the postseason, and I'm in good shape. So obviously we didn't go as extreme here, but I do still think that's a viable strategy as far as trying to maximize how you do in the playoffs. It's obviously tough for getting there, but
do you I guess we'll make our pick, and then I want to hear your thoughts on the new payout structure, the new structure of the contest. But let's make our pick first. So we have Josh Downs, Jerry Jeudy, Rico Dowdle, Zach Charbonnet. We only have 2 running backs. So I feel like this might be a good spot to take Rico Dowdle, who might be Dallas's running back 1.
I'll take your word for it. I have no idea what running back rooms look like right now.
Yeah, it's one of those
I know. Did they get Zeke, or they're just
they got
Zeke? They got Zeke.
Yeah. So it's pretty unclear, the situation, but and they could obviously add somebody else, but they didn't take anybody in the draft, so I don't know. We'll see. He might have a good opportunity here. I think at 136, he's a fair pick there for somebody who might be the running back 1 on a good offense.
Yeah.
Did you take a look?
My preferred approach. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you about the payout structure. What you feel about the Best Ball Mania payout structure?
I like it. I mean, I don't have a strong take on it. If they had said, "Oh, well, it's $5 million the first," I'd be okay, cool. I would like $5 million, but yeah, I like it. Stuff like that too. And again, it goes both ways. On the one hand, this is basically one best ball season is playing 1 milli maker. So there's so much variance that on the one hand, it's okay, well, if I win, just give me $5 million. But on the other hand, it's if I put good, if I actually just have a good tournament, I want a profit. I want a chance, give me a pretty good chance to make 6 figures and I'm happy.
Yep.
As opposed to okay, well, I had a good year and I'm still going to break even because I didn't get top 3.
Yeah. I know you've made the final in the past for one of these big Millie Maker contests. I had the year I had two lineups in the 470 person final in Best Ball Mania and made a couple $1,000, I think. Yep. Maybe not even that much. And that's way exceeded expectations.
Yeah. It's same for me. I think the first year, it might've been the first year that Best Ball was big and I played. I think I got 2 in the finals on DraftKings, 1 in the final on FanDuel or on Underdog. And I made a couple $1,000s. In NBA, the last time I played it, I finished in third, so I made like 10K, but first was 100, and so it's one of those. It's like I've been sweating this all year, and now it's like, oh cool, I get to experience the same thing that I do in DFS, where a few points cost me 90 grand.
Right, but it's like you've had the sweat so much longer, and it hurts that much more.
Right. But like if I had won any of those times, I would be saying the opposite thing. So.
Right. Yeah. If you were Pat Corain, like, we'll take this payout structure.
Yeah. I mean, I still, this was years ago. I single bullet won a FanDuel basketball tournament the same day that I tweeted, like they put out like an extremely aggressive top heavy structure. And I tweeted like making fun of it and then just threw one lineup in and won. I was like, oh, never mind. This is fantastic.
That's great. Yeah. All right. So we could go Ty Chandler here. I'm a big fan of Jermaine Burton as a riser now that he's probably the wide receiver 3 in Cincinnati.
Yeah. I just drafted him in a dynasty league. I think I like Burton.
Yeah, I think I like Burton here too.
I also just like, again, kind of the same thing that, with the Bills, the Eagles, Atlanta, Baltimore, like since he's going to have a good offense, now we just have a piece of that.
Yep. Yep. And it's like, Jalen, the case for, I don't even know if it's Jalen or Jalen or how you pronounce it, but, could be the wide receiver 1 in New England for all we know, but it's like the odds of that happening are
Baker. Is that you're talking about?
I mean, same thing, but these, Jalen Polk here. So I'm talking about like could be the wide receiver 1 in New England, which, there's definitely upside there, but also like New England might be really bad. So it's like, is the wide receiver 1 in New England even going to be better than the wide receiver 3 in Cincinnati, even if it does hit that he is a wide receiver 1. So.
Right. And then the second part of that is we don't know who the wide receiver 1 is going to be. And you're talking about a bad offense. So I prefer to take whatever is available later and hope he ends up being the wide receiver 1.
Yeah. He is still available to us. We also have Ty Chandler, Bucky Irving, any of
Ty
these.
Chandler they kind of committed to Ty Chandler, didn't they?
Well, they took Aaron Jones.
Oh, they picked up like Aaron Jones. They didn't do anything else, right? So
true. So he is still the running back too. We are a little bit thin at running back, so I'm good with that. We also like, I don't feel that strongly about Ty Chandler over like this tier here, but I do have him ranked as a tier ahead, and I think he's,
yeah. So that was the other thing I was gonna say was like it looks like there's a lot of similar running backs, but
yeah. I like Ray Davis. I guess we could have added to our Buffalo stack a little bit. I think he's like could be the goal line back there in Buffalo, but I think he's also just like could be a blocking back. It's one of those hard to know what his role is going to be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Spurrier says this feels like a Bucky. I mean, Bucky Irving might also come back to us. Like his ADP is pretty far down, so he's a guy that we could take.
Have you seen any reports on pass blocking for these rookies? Because that's something that I know nothing about football, and it blows my mind that like that still has not caught on, that people doing best ball drafts and projecting backfields haven't figured out that if you can't pass block, you're not the pass catching back.
Yeah. So all I know is that Ray Davis is potentially the blocking back in Buffalo.
Right.
So maybe he will be the pass catching back. But no, I don't know much about the pass blocking skills. I don't know much about these rookies in general, other than what I've heard about them as
it's literally the only thing I look for now. Like, I don't care. Like, everybody talks about how fast guys are and all that. Like that's why I had Kyron Williams last year, was like, they were resting him and Akers in the preseason. And then all these reports coming out that Kyron Williams is their best pass blocker. And I was like, okay, so this guy's probably your third down back. And then obviously it was just icing on the cake that he was just your number 1 running back. But
it was more than icing on the cake. That was just like throw all the sweets on the cake that he was.
I was so pissed off week 1 of DFS because I don't do my own NFL projections, and I wouldn't obviously have projected him to just get every carry anyway. But it was just like, I just spent the entire summer loading up on this guy. And then this 0.5% owned running back just gets like 25 carries week 1.
Yeah. Yep. As you know, I was not as into him as you were during last best ball season. Definitely was punished for that. And then I thought I got away with it when he got hurt for a while. I was like, okay, maybe he like won't come back into the same role. And then he just came back and just dominated when he came back as well. Clip. So I actually hid the comment last time when I had Justin Steele on, came in here and said that he loves stacking against Justin Steele. Clearly just kind of a troll here. Clip says that he's been smashing on you all MLB season.
I think he's talking about field tournament, so I don't know what that means.
Yeah, he's been smashing on you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you if you're crushing MLB. I assume he's just kind of a troll.
Yeah, I
Although
mean,
he showed
if
up
I
and
played if I played head to heads, maybe that would mean something, but I
yeah.
don't know what it could possibly mean.
All right. We have 2 quarterbacks, we have 4 running backs, 6 receivers, and 2 tight ends already. We could still get Bucky Irving here. He is the running back 2 for Tampa Bay. Antonio Gibson, the running back 2 for New England. Do you have any thoughts here?
I mean, I'm a huge Antonio Gibson truther from a talent standpoint, but that doesn't really help us here. I
They have
think
the same
either.
role.
Yeah, I'll say I think either of them are fine. I mean, New England having a shitty offense doesn't help.
All right, we're doing Bucky Irving then.
Yeah, that works.
I agree. Yeah, those 2 is really a coin flip for me. I went Bucky Irving because of Spurious News really wanted us to take him. so I broke the tie toward chat. I also think that I've gone back and forth, I think, quite a bit. Like I was drafting a lot of Antonio Gibson early. I've moved towards like trying to get some Bucky Irving shares. So I'm like behind where I want to be on Bucky Irving, and I think about where I want to be on Antonio Gibson. So partially chat, partially just like, spreading out my portfolio a little bit, taking
Oh
Bucky
shit! I
Irving
actually
there.
knew who he was. I wasn't positive. I was trying to figure out if he was the same Irving that played running back at Oregon, and
Look at you.
yeah,
This
played a
ball
lot of
hour.
college football last
Oh,
season.
did you really?
Yeah.
All right. We are in a wide receiver dead zone here. I wonder if ADP is the same. Now, ADP has Javon Baker and Wandale Robinson kind of in this range. Oh yeah, we got a question. Steven had a question about Isaiah Likely before. I do like the DeMarcus Robinson pick there. Do you have any strong leans? I mean, Jaleel McLaughlin top of my ranks, or we could go Javon Baker, Wandale Robinson.
I kind of like Javon Baker. Just going back to what we were talking about with
Yeah,
New England,
could be the
wide
very
open.
yeah, that is true. Yeah, and I think I have heard like there are people out there who will tell you that Javon Baker is actually the more talented of the 2, more talented than Jalen Polk. So yeah, I like that. And we are a little bit thin. Like we only have 6 receivers so far. And we took the receivers 1-2 with AJ Brown, Drake London, but then we didn't take a third receiver till after Kyle Pitts in the 7th round. So we are a little bit thin at wide receiver right here now with 2 picks remaining. Probably need at least one more receiver. I think we're all set at quarterback and tight end though. So at this point it's just wide receivers and running backs for us.
Agreed. With a lean toward wide receiver, I think. As a tiebreaker.
Let's see. Steven asked, what he had a question a long time ago, I think, about Isaiah Likely being a handcuff, and I was going to answer it, and then I forgot. And now I'm not finding it. Yeah. When is Likely going, and do you see him as a possible handcuff for Andrews? So I don't typically, I guess I could handcuff him. I would only handcuff him if I have Lamar Jackson. Like I'm not typically wanting to handcuff my tight ends because I usually only want like 2, sometimes 3 tight ends. And I don't generally, if I'm only taking 2, I don't want them to be on the same team. So I don't take him as a handcuff. But I mean, you can see here where he went, 190. I think his ADP is like slightly ahead of this. But it's more of a like fallback option. If I have Lamar and didn't get Andrews, I'll take Likely. Do you have a strong opinion there, Adam?
Not outside of I don't like handcuffing. I think there are situations where I would think it's okay. Like if you have a team that is likely to use a lot of 2 tight end sets and there is a gap between them. Like I didn't mind sometimes last year going like Kincaid and Knox and thinking that could work out.
Yeah.
Or if, like you said, if you have Lamar and you take Andrews and then Likely really falls, then I don't mind it. But that's probably more of like a DraftKings thing because you have 2 more rounds to do it.
Yeah, true. All right, a lot of wide receivers coming off the board. Yeah, I mean, DeMarcus Robinson went before. Somebody had commented, don't worry, you can take him late. But he, in this case, went before our pick at 183. Seems to be screaming up boards a little bit. If we look at
Wait, did we take Baker before Douglas? I thought Douglas was gone.
I think we may have. I don't know. It's
not that I have a strong preference, but
yeah. Plenty of good wide receivers in this range. Let's see, running backs. I think I'd lean wide receiver here.
Malik
Do you
Washington.
have Malik Washington? Not worried about Odell Beckham Jr.?
No.
All right.
Anybody that McDaniel seems to clearly have a role cut out for, I think.
Yeah.
In the late rounds makes a lot of sense from an upside standpoint.
Yeah. Agreed. Is Ellie De La Cruz doing better than O'Neal Cruz now?
Oh yeah, De La Cruz is having a monster year.
Yeah.
Yeah, De La Cruz is doing this year what people thought he did last year.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a brief period where it sounded like the Pirates were going to be like great this year. Like they were. I think I was hearing like O'Neal Cruz in the MVP conversation. Maybe, I don't know.
He's fallen off. He's not having that good of a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ellie is fantastic.
All right, so we have
the
Jalen
Pirates might
Hurts,
have been the last team to lose a game this year, something like that.
the last team to lose a game. That sounds right. Do you think we need another? We have Derrick Henry, James Conner, Rico Dowdle, Ty Chandler, Bucky Irving. I feel like that's probably kind of a weak running back room.
Yeah.
Do you think it's good?
But, I mean, I don't think it's good, but I don't know that it gets any better with this. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if there's a running back I think that like you think has like a path to being a 1, then sure. Like
Deontay Foreman might, just because Nick Chubb, but he's also like 3rd on the depth chart, so probably not.
I'll say, or like Garendo. Like if McCaffrey gets hurt, you just get this guy on the Niners.
Right. Would you rather just go receiver? I mean, we got Elijah Moore, Brendan Rice, kind of interesting in Los Angeles.
I'm not gonna
KJ
lie,
Osborne.
Most of these people are.
KJ Osborne, a second bet on that New England, like who might be the wide receiver 1.
Yeah, God, that's gross. I mean, I've always kind of been an Elijah Moore fan, but that's never worked out.
Did we get him? I don't even know if we got him there. Oh, we got him. All right. I am in the same boat. I feel like I've made the bet on Elijah Moore several times. I think it worked out one time. I feel like there was one year that I got him and he did much better than his ADP was. But
I think it might have worked out 1 week of a year.
Yeah, I think that might also be true. In best ball, though, who's to say that that's not counting? That doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, I have an Elijah Moore problem in best ball. I have it in DFS. Like,
yeah, same. Are you gonna stick around, do another draft with me?
Yeah, I'll get a glass of wine.
Okay, sweet. Pig's Gonna Blanket takes advantage of your breaking news. Adam broke the news that Zay Jones looking at Kansas City, and then Pig's Gonna Blanket goes ahead and takes advantage. That was smart. I should have thought of that. Although at this point, like, what is it going to be? The wide receiver 4? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
don't know what role.
Depends on Rice's suspension, I guess.
True. But... yeah. There's also Kadarius Toney there. It's just
right. Well, it's funny how like, and I was thinking when we were talking about it earlier, because like you have Worthy, you have what's his name? You have Hollywood. Like, I feel like there's been like 4 different receivers this offseason that everyone's been like, oh shit, this guy's gonna be great because he's Patrick Mahomes #1. And it's like, no, we're just in the same situation where he has like 4 or 5 guys, and one of them might step up and one of them might not.
I do think that they're better this year. Like, I think that part of last year was just the receivers were awful.
Right. Yeah. Like the group as a whole is better now, but it's like people are acting like each of them individually is on last year's team or something, where it's like, oh, Hollywood Brown is with this terrible receiver group. Yeah, it's like, no, he's just with a better receiver group.
Yeah. No, that is true. All right. We can, do you want to go grab a glass of wine while I review the team? Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. All right, I'll pull up this team, view the draft. So we ended up, me and Adam got Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins at quarterback. At running back, we have Derrick Henry, James Conner, Rico Dowdle, Ty Chandler, Bucky Irving. And at wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Drake London, Keon Coleman, Deontay Johnson, Curtis Samuel, Jermaine Burton, Javon Baker, Malik Washington, Elijah Moore. And at tight end, we have Mark Andrews and Kyle Pitts. I feel pretty good about the team. The running backs are fairly weak, but we made the bet pretty early on Derrick Henry being that dude in Baltimore. James Conner, if he just does what he has been doing, he's going to be, this is a good pick for him. Rico Dowdle could be the RB1 in Dallas. And then we got a couple of RB2s that, have a lot of contingent upside. So not the strongest running back room, but probably fine. Quarterbacks feel good about that. Wide receivers. After the top 2, we did kind of wait on our third receiver, but got there with volume, I think. And then our tight ends are elite. So I think that's an all right team. I'll look at some of the other teams from people in our room before we jump into the next one. Pigskin a Blanket goes Mahomes, Goff at quarterback, Travis Etienne, Ramondre Stevenson, Jalen Warren, Tyjae Spears, and Kendre Miller at running back. He has Amon-Ra St. Brown with his Goff, Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, Rashee Rice with his Mahomes, Jameson Williams with his Goff, Jerry Jeudy, Darius Slayton, and Zay Jones potentially with Mahomes. And then he has K. Dotton, Jonnu Smith, and Chigga at tight end. Lundar was here with us. Has Anthony Richardson, Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr at quarterback. At running back, he has Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, Trey Benson, Tyler Algier, and Jaleel McLaughlin. And at wide receiver, he has Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, Jaden Reed, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett, Adonai Mitchell, Josh Downs, Jalen Tolbert. At tight end, he has David Njoku and Juwan Johnson. So he stacked up all of his quarterbacks pretty strongly. Anybody else here? I don't think anybody else was commenting, at least as far as I know. Yes, Jewish McCaffrey, we are going to jump into another draft here. Oh yeah, Pigskin wanted us to tell him what we thought of his team. I thought it was a strong team. You got your quarterbacks, both have double stacked. I think you got elite offenses there in Kansas City and Detroit. Tight ends, yes, a little bit weak, but also I kind of think that it's fine with these three. Like it's a strong enough tight end room. So I think it's fine. I mean, Rashee Rice, obviously kind of the X factor there. We don't really know what his availability is going to look like. But then you kind of have a backup plan there with Zay Jones too. If Rashee Rice is not there, maybe Zay Jones has a bigger role. So I think you made it work.
Wait, Pigskin was the one that took Rice in the 6th round?
Yeah. Yeah.
I made fun of that a lot harder if I realized.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is like where his ADP is though. And it's also like, I don't take him there except for when I have Mahomes. So he kind of did exactly what I do at that spot where it's like, all right, if you take Mahomes, and I often I'll take Mahomes like without Kelsey, and it's just like one of Xavier Worthy or Hollywood Brown or Rashee Rice will fall back to me. And Rashee Rice I rank 3rd, but if he's the only one left, then I'll take him there. So I think he kind of played it exactly how I do, to be honest. All right. We are going to draft another one. I know people, I know Jewish McCaffrey wants to join us in this one. So let me go find it. Let's see, drafts. Probably going to have to do the thing again where I enter, and then as soon as it goes live, I'll have to like close the window, but we'll see. We'll see if it happens again. All right, this one, we're not going to have to wait that long. We are 9 picks in, waiting on 3 more to join. Yeah, Pigskin, he's also a Baltimore guy, right? I think. I want to say he lives over in that vicinity. I might be misremembering. There's a lot of people, a lot of DFS guys are out there.
Sounds
like. I mean, John Proctor is out there, right?
Yeah, he's like an hour north or something.
Oh, he's not out there. Okay. He says, no. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. Oh, he's in Denver. Another hotbed of DFS talent.
But yeah, A Raven lives in the general vicinity. He's up by John Proctor too.
Okay. And I feel like there are a couple others, but I don't remember who they are.
Yeah, they live up around the trailers and heroin.
Oh, yeah. And you live in the clean part of Baltimore?
Yeah, I live there's not a lot of trailers. There's still
I've never been to Baltimore, so I have no idea what it's actually like, but just based on TV, I just assume that it's all like that.
It is not.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't live in the city. They live up in a middle of nowhere.
Jewish McCaffrey asking if I will be doing some drafters this summer. Yeah, I'll probably do some drafters at some point. I have, I've committed to doing 150 Best Ball Mania drafts on stream. So that's like my highest priority right now is getting a chunk of those done. But at some point, I'll branch out for other things.
Josh came by and visited a couple months ago. He was impressed.
Oh, did he really? That's fun.
Yeah.
He also just assumed that you lived near like Amsterdam, like kind of had that
right.
picture.
Yeah, I don't know what his expectations were coming in.
All right, we are pick 10, so we are not really lucking out with the picks, but we got Jewish McCaffrey in there after us with pick 12. Anybody else here? Grumpy Simon. Yeah, a lot of the people who were in here with us last time dropped out. Anybody in chat in this draft with us? I did a draft stream yesterday with B Sandark, and there was a person on the term whose username was Mr. Poopy Butt, and I just couldn't like not laugh every time I read it. I don't know why. Like, it's one of those things that's just like depends on your mood, like whether you find that kind of thing funny. But just like reading his name, Mr. Poopy Butt, just made me giggle every time. We don't have that in this draft. Oh, it's doing this this thing again. All right, I'm going to close this and come back in. All right, made it back in time. And I will pull it up. Best ball moderate is pick number 8. So you are Gerardo. Okay. I don't think I knew that was your username. Good to know. Here, I'll go back to this so we can see who's available.
Yeah. I didn't realize we had started. My bad.
Yeah. We're coming up on our pick.
Yeah. I was trying to catch up on the Orioles trying to blow their game.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I assume they're doing well this year. Are they still?
Yeah. They're like 23-11 or something. But they are in the process of trying to get swept for the first time since Rutschman got called up 2 years ago.
Brutal.
That's what I wanted. Oh, we're doing this again.
Yep.
I mean, I guess we can go Nakua this time.
I mean, we could also go Marvin Harrison if you want to do something more fun. Or should we just do?
I feel like you just go Puka.
All right, let's just do Puka this time, despite your biases. I am at this point. I'm more of a Cubs fan than a Twins fan, just because I want to cheer for Justin Steele, because none of the Twins have come on my podcast. Pretty fun seeing him return.
I bet his under the other night. That was and it hit, so I appreciated that.
Under 5 innings.
Under 4.5 strikeouts.
Oh, really, man? Yeah, he was on like a 75 pitch count, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not a fun place to draft, because it's like I don't love taking. I mean, Puka Nakua could be great. Like he was great last year. Just get him back doing what he did last year. Like, we're gonna be happy with the pick. It just never feels good for some reason. It feels. I don't know.
The thing for me is it's always just like, okay, this guy came out of nowhere. Like, he was amazing. Is he really going to do this again? But I've been saying that about Cooper Kupp for how many years now? Like,
yeah. Drake London again?
Yeah, why not?
I'm good with that. I like the pick there, and it's. I guess we could have reached on like Olave or taken Jonathan Taylor, but yeah, I think Drake London's my favorite pick there. Yeah, I like. And he's young, and he was just really good last year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick's up 1 with 8 minutes left. Interesting.
And like route running guys, I think are just like, it's not as exciting, and I think it naturally feels worse to draft them. But then they're also the ones that are going to just like be open every play, because that's a much more difficult skill set than this guy's really athletic.
Right, exactly. And then sometimes, I mean, Kyle Pitts, I've been doing it every year because it's like, oh, he's this athletic freak. He's supposed to be really good. Right. I think that he is going to be good. I'm doing it again this year, but it's like, you see those guys all the time, the athletic freaks. You draft them for their speed, it's like, if you can't run a good route, you're just not, which is not Kyle Pitts. I don't think that's Kyle Pitts. Just there are those.
But yeah, in general, like, there's a million guys where it's just like, oh, he's a great athlete. And so then when you get the guy that comes out of nowhere, it's like, well, he can't be that good, because like maybe he's not a freak athlete, but he's just a really good receiver.
Yeah. I'm going to let Clips just continue to troll you here. He wants me to ask you how you feel about Jackson Holiday being a bust.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a stupid question.
I know. It's funny because he came on the stream last time and was not trolling. I think he was just like, just.
I tend to bring it out in people.
Yeah, But just he also like was trolling Justin Steele, which I was like, the
That's
nicest guy
weird.
you'll ever know. Yeah, why are you trolling Justin Steele?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be in the category of Justin Steele, I guess.
Yeah, that is true. And you were a pitcher also, right? Back in
Very
the day.
loosely using that word, sure.
You threw out an opening pitch, if nothing
I
else.
did do that, yeah.
I also in the pitcher tier as my softball pitcher. So
Yeah.
we're all very similar. Yeah, we switched actually to Tuesday nights this year because they canceled the Thursday night league, which is a big bummer for us. But we are 2-0, giving up 7 runs through. I think we've scored 22 runs and given up 7 so far. So
yeah, that's good.
Going well.
How do you only give up 7 runs in softball?
I'm just really good. No, I think that we may have sort of unintentionally moved down a tier because they got rid of our tier and we didn't want to move to a different field. Like it's a more fun field that we're at. I think that we may have moved down a tier. It's funny because like the guys we're playing against, like both of the teams we're playing against, I would say the average age is 10 years younger than our age. And they actually look like, you see them warming up, they look good. Like I both times I kind of expected them to beat us. But my team we've been playing together for a while now. We're, kind of wily vets. Let's see. Yeah, Calvin says we can do much better than that with Adam. Troll questions, come on. That is true. There are so many better troll questions for Adam out there. Pigskin of Blake wants to know better long-term career. Adley, Gunner, or Jackson. Do you have an opinion there?
Yeah, Gunner. I don't think you can make an argument for anybody else. Like Adley's a catcher, so the longevity is not there. Jackson, like Holiday, could be amazing, but like Gunner's already tearing up the major leagues. He's a couple years older than Holiday. I don't think you can actually answer. Like if you're just saying like the most likely, I don't think there's anything you can say other than Gunner.
So we have Puka Nakua. Cooper Kupp is available to us and is top of the board. Do we just do that stack, or would you rather not stack it up?
No, I think you'd do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
then you can get a cheap QB later.
Yeah.
With our next pick, we could still get a stud quarterback also.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's typically what I do. If I have Puka Nakua and Cooper comes to me at like a reasonable pick, I take it. I'm never that excited about my Rams double stacks. Probably I should be. It just doesn't feel that exciting. I guess because they're the Rams. I don't know. See you later. Steven, enjoy your PGA stuff. Have you been doing a lot of PGA, Adam?
No.
So that's one thing. So we were talking about pick 6. I was super into PGA pick 6 and but not for like showdown. Like I'm only into it for we're coming on. Let's pick our pick. I'll continue after we make our pick. Lamar goes. Yeah, me too.
I think you should go Kelsey, right?
I'm going to go with Kelsey.
And you don't have to worry about tight end.
True. So they used to have weekend long PGA pick 6, and like my favorite plays were they had over under 36.5 holes. So it was like basically betting on a player making the cut, and frequently you would find like golfers that had a 70% chance of missing the cut. You could take the under 36.5 and like there's just like major edge in that, or like fantasy points. And it was like, well, it depends on whether they make, like there were just huge edges in weekend long PGA pick 6. That's like, it's not available in showdown. Like showdown, like the projection is just going to be the projection, whatever. And they took away the weekend long stuff. So I'm kind of bummed about that. So speaking of them removing edges from short players, they kind of already did that with PGA.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, no, I haven't played PGA in a while. Like I hate waking up for it. I did have, so DraftKings ran actually like a good free roll a couple weeks ago, and I had 5 entries into it, and I hadn't actually looked because I didn't realize that it was like a legitimately good free roll, and I think it was like a 50K prize pool, like 10K to first, like 600 total entries. And so I'm just like ignoring it. I think I was out the night before and I was like, I'm not waking up for this. And it was supposed to start at like 6 a.m. And so I'm talking to Josh at like 8 or 8:30 a.m. And he said something about golf. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even bother. And he's like, oh, they pushed the start time back. And I was like, oh, I guess I may as well just like throw, lineups in quickly. I got second for 7,500. So that was a
nice way.
Yeah, that was a nice, like, I was going to just completely blow this thing off, and then I got second place.
Did you give Josh a cut?
No, I
I
rubbed
feel
it
like
in
I
his
should
face.
advocate for Josh here. I mean, you kind of owe Josh
Yeah, no, I mean,
37.50.
I definitely, I think I might have thanked him on Twitter.
Oh, that is kind of nice. Yeah. All right. I'm sure Josh was satisfied with that.
I can't see how he would prefer money over that.
All right, we have a few questions here. Calvin Hobo, either of you look at any NFL future bets yet, or do you both wait for this? So I can't bet in Minnesota, so I don't really look at it. I think I am going to Michigan this summer, so maybe I will make bets, but I haven't looked at any. Have you looked at any, Adam?
No, I generally don't bet futures anyway. Not even because they're like a bad use of bankroll, just because I'm not in the habit of looking regularly. I'll notice baseball ones, but normally it's Orioles related. Like I'm just looking to see where guys are. Like last year, I didn't bet it because I'm an idiot, but I got people on Gunner Rookie of the Year like 20-1 in May, and
Yeah.
it was just like I was looking and like I knew he was underperforming, and I just happened to see like, oh, what are his odds now? And I'm like, this is insane, and I tweeted about it. But outside of just like checking things that I'm a fan of, I'm not in the habit of looking.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither. I'm sort of bummed that my brother owns a cottage in Michigan that we usually go in the summers and didn't go last summer. I was too busy with work, I think, or I don't remember exactly what it was, but was not able to go last summer. And I 100%, if we had gone to Michigan, would have made a bet on the Timberwolves winning the championship.
Right.
So I'm kind of bummed.
Yeah,
Right
that would be
now.
looking pretty good right now.
Yeah. All right. Coming up on our pick. Was really hoping
Young
for
wasn't
Christian
winning
Kirk
Rookie of the
there.
Year anyway.
What's that?
George McCaffrey said he lost Josh
Oh,
Young 18-1. I said he wasn't winning Rookie of the Year anyway.
we could take Kyle Pitts. We could take Anthony Richardson and backstack him. We could throw on Kyle Pitts to our stack with Drake London again.
I kind of like the Anthony Richardson route because like we already have that Ram stack. We're not going to get you're not excited about that quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, and then taking Rams and Kirk Cousins it's not that fun.
Yeah.
Whereas taking Anthony Richardson with Matthew Stafford would be fun.
Yeah, and like you're allocating so much capital to tight end.
Yeah.
If you go Pitts there,
Right.
and you don't have like I think it's another spot where like that kind of makes a difference. Not that it's bad like going Kelsey Pitts necessarily, but I think it's easier to like rebound from that on DraftKings with 2 more rounds because you just get 2 more flyer wide receivers that could hit or running
Right.
backs or whatever. Whereas here, it's a lot more difficult to do that.
Yep. All right, what's it going to be, JMC? Oh, he goes Pitts. I was going to suggest it once again if he came back to us, but because at that point it's like, it's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of value there, and it's setting up the pit stack.
Yeah.
And like, if Anthony Richardson weren't a rushing quarterback, I don't think you take him there. Like, if he was just like a pocket passer, I don't want to like backstack him and have some like shitty pocket passer plus Matthew Stafford like double stack. But
right.
Richardson by himself is just exciting.
Yeah, exactly. We're definitely, if we only take those 2 quarterbacks, I will be concerned about taking some zeros some weeks at quarterback with Richardson.
Yeah.
Was hurt so much last year. Stafford.
I don't know. I don't really worry about. I mean, obviously, like you're right, it's likely to happen. But it's like for me, especially again with the fewer rounds, I just kind of just say like, yeah, okay, this team might end up sucking. But
Rashad White, Jordan Addison, Romo Dunze. Let's see who's our. Do you have any? I was going to suggest Marquise Brown, and then he went. So
I think we know where I'm at on Rice.
I'm just going to star some players. So we
don't get Rice. Whoever you want that isn't Rice.
We're going Odunze. I think that I was talked into it today that there is at least some chance that Romo Dunze ends up being the alpha there. Like there's, I think we all assume that like DJ Moore, and it's probably DJ Moore is the alpha. And that Keenan Allen's number 2, Romo Dunze number 3. It wouldn't be surprising at all if Romo Dunze ends up as the wide receiver 2 in Chicago. And it would be surprising, obviously, if he ends up being better than DJ Moore. But like, also he's really good. So
right, yeah, and like that offense has the potential. Like if Caleb Williams is really good right out of the gate, that offense just everybody can be open a lot.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Ooh, Clips continues. Stop taking this guy serious when he said The Wire was better than The Sopranos. Is that your opinion?
They're both in my top 5 shows ever. I mean, I enjoy The Wire more. I also know that I'm biased because of location.
Yeah, and that's I feel like it's kind of a toss up, and I would probably like The Wire better if I was in Baltimore. Like I really
Yeah.
like both of those shows as well. Sorry, I'm just allowing him to troll you because I glazed you up so much last time. I feel like I gotta allow the trolls to continue trolling you.
He's not even the problem. He's not good at trolling. Like he's so
Yeah,
bad at it
I
that it's
know.
actually almost working because like it's just annoying. But like
Yeah, he's
there's it's
trying
not
really hard though. He's really trying to
yeah,
troll
like
you.
it's not entertaining me. It's
Yeah.
just annoying.
Do you have a take on Diggs versus Nico this season?
No.
I don't either. Yeah. I think Nico is probably the better pick first of the two. Like I think he's more likely to be the better. Just like I looked at his yards per route run, he was really elite there, and Diggs did feel like he was falling off last year. But also, if you told me that like Diggs is going to go there and they're going to want to feed him the ball because he's kind of a diva and like he has been good and maybe he gets it back, like I believe you believe that too. Like I don't know, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, to me, and that wasn't a no. Like, I don't think that if I looked, I would have an answer. It's a no. Like,
Yeah,
I
without
generally
looking.
don't have a ton of player takes anyway. I definitely don't have them in May.
Yeah. And yeah, should Najee and Warren be getting a bump with Arthur Smith and down? I'm very in on the Pittsburgh running back, so my answer is yes. Do you have an opinion, Adam?
It makes sense to me. I mean, we've seen so yeah, they're going to run, but who's their third and fourth string running back that are going to take the goal line work?
That's a fair point. Yeah, who's going to be the guy there? I think they signed Cordarrelle Patterson, which
Actually,
would
I
make a
think
lot
they
of
did.
sense if they just like throw.
Yeah, I
Cordarrelle
think they
Patterson
did because then like a week later is when it might have been Warren, whoever said that they were using Justin Fields on kickoffs, and they were like, "Do they not know what Patterson does?"
Right. Yeah, that is funny. That offense. I don't know what their plan is. Yeah, Richardson, I agree, does have weapons this year. But Pittman is like the clear alpha. Like that's the one downside to what we did is that like Pittman, I think they just want to feed him the ball, but they like Adonai Mitchell. I don't know, was supposed to be a first round talent. I think Josh Downs is pretty good, so I kind of don't hate the idea of backsacking him.
Is Mitchell the like diabetes or blood sugar or something one that like
Yeah,
the reports came out that that was one of the dumber reports.
Like and he's not treating it how he should be, I think is what the report said. Yeah. Yep, but he's supposed to be like a great like round one talent. So
yeah,
I'm
feel
just
like
assuming that the NFL is going to get him in line. I'm hopeful
that's my assumption. And it's just as soon as I read that, it was like if this is the actual reason, this just is clearly going to be one of those things that in 3 years people are like, oh my god, this guy fell because of this.
Right. Yeah, just like Jordan Addison last year, like with the speeding tickets. Like really, you're just going to let us have him? But like to a greater extent though.
Yeah, like except it was the actual professional organizations doing it, not best ball drafters.
So I feel like I would be inclined here to either take JSN or Deontay Johnson just to give us a like if we don't get Matthew Stafford, if somebody snipes us, we have another option.
Yeah, I was thinking JSN.
I'm good with JSN. Yeah, I think I like him at ADP. I feel like there's he had some good games last year. Like I think he could be the wide receiver 2 this year.
Yeah, the problem from the stacking standpoint is who actually ends up being the quarterback. But
yeah. All right, coming back around to us. I just realized that you guys can see me doing. I do this on every show I'm on. Like if I'm doing an interview, I'm doing this the whole time. If you can see my mouse, it's like doing the four corners thing. I just like do that whenever I'm like on the computer. I got to stop doing it while I'm doing drafts. Now that I remember that everybody can see that I'm doing it. All right, coming back around. What do we have? We have 1 quarterback, 5 receivers. We probably need to save some receivers for the Colts guys that we're going to be trying to add on. So I think I would be inclined to go running back here. If we go by ADP, it would be Najee. I think I might move Jonathan Brooks down my ranks. I'm concerned that he is like even though he comes back, he's not going to be fully recovered. As you said, Trey Benson's the top of my ranks. I think I moved him up because I want to be in on him. But are you good with taking him or I'd be happy to go Najee too.
I don't know anything about these running backs, honestly. So
actually as our first running back, I think Najee Harris is I prefer Trey Benson as like a third running back.
Yeah, well, I was just saying that, but also like there's a decent chance that he's still there later.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the right way to handle that when you have somebody that like, yeah, I prefer him by a small margin over this group, but
right.
the field prefers this group. Like, get somebody from that group and hope that he falls.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a mistake to like attach yourself to a player take like that, where it's like, oh, well, I think this guy's a little underrated, and you just start taking him ahead of that group. Like,
right.
Because you end up missing out on value.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I think that was the right call for multiple reasons. I don't like him as a running back one, because I don't think he's going to be like the guy right away. Whereas like Najee, right. I think he's going to provide some value immediately. I like him more as like he could gain steam later on in the year. This is actually clip says, what would you be willing to give up for Mason Miller at the deadline? He was actually on Justin Steele's podcast this week. I think it came out today or yesterday. Miller? Yeah, Mason Miller was on the Steal the Show podcast. And it was really, really interesting, really a good interview. He seems like a cool guy. Do you have any? What would you give up for him for the O's?
Probably not enough to get him. Obviously, he's insanely good, and I would like to have him. But if we're talking about like one of their actual top prospects, I don't think you do that for a reliever, no matter how good they are. There's so much variance in relief pitching in general. Pitchers are getting hurt at such a high rate. Like, I don't think you give up like Kobe Mayo or Kerstad or anything like that. And I assume because he has so much time left on his contract that if the A's were to trade him, they're getting a nice haul. So I would love to have him, but I don't think I would want to give up what it would take. And also and I kind of was having this conversation with a local radio guy. By conversation, I mean, I was mocking him and I don't think he answered me on Twitter the other day, but because he was saying, that they needed to move one of their prized prospects for Miller. And I was like, the Orioles bullpen is good, has been good this year by any metric. People are freaking out about Kimbrel right now because he's kind of banged up. But overall this season, now he had another bad outing tonight, but as of like when we were talking about this over the weekend, he had struck out like 40% of hitters so far this year with like a sub 3 xFIP. Like, he was having an overall good year. And then even if it's not Kimbrel, like, they have other good bullpen arms, and you can also get relief pitching for cheap at the deadline. So yeah, I don't know. I would love to have him. I don't think that I would move what they would want.
Yeah. I think that seems like a reasonable assessment. Like, what is a closer? Like, probably not worth paying one of your top prospects.
Well, and the thing is too, like, we don't need a closer next year. Because like Felix Bautista is back. So assuming he's healthy. So like, obviously that's a stacked back end of the bullpen if you have Bautista and Miller, but it's not like yeah. So like, it's not, I'm not trying to say like you don't need Mason Miller down the road, but like, we don't have that same hole next year either.
Yeah. Before I forget, I did want to remind people. So I put it on under us. You can see on the screen here. I started a Discord. I just opened up today. And I have seen on my phone, I see that people are joining the Discord, probably from seeing it on the screen, but the link is in the description of this YouTube video. I'm excited. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with the Discord, but I am excited to have it there, to have another way of reaching people. You can of course get alerts there for when my shows go live, and also just shoot the shit, whatever we can talk about some of the alpha in these different contests. So yeah, please come join if you are interested. We could get Brian Robinson here, Adam. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, that works.
Since we only have one receiver, I guess at this point we do need to start thinking. I don't think we don't need to look at I think the Colts receivers have fallen enough. But let me go and star them so that I remember to take some Colts receivers. I guess, man, AD Mitchell.
Yeah, grabbing Mitchell at this next pick probably makes some sense.
Yeah, I think he's falling. So like, this is still. I think we're reaching a little bit for him here, but I think because of the stack, it still makes sense for us.
Is there a reason he's falling?
Because this is a bad landing spot for him, I think, in general.
So this started before the draft.
Oh, good point. No, this contest did not start before the draft, but in like the pre-draft contest, he was going like pick 80, I want to say. Okay. So I think it's just I think in general, like the general consensus is that Indy is a bad landing spot for him. So sure. I think his original ADP was kind of anchored to the pre-draft stuff. I think he's been kind of slowly falling back from there. Yeah, I don't think I've taken him yet in this spot. It's one of those like I'll only take him because we have Anthony Richardson.
Right.
But
Which like
because we
also
have
you don't have to stack Richardson. Like I think you take Mitchell here if he's there.
yeah,
But he is at least somebody that like you don't have to.
true. If we don't get him, I'd be inclined to go Chase Brown, add another running back probably,
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
or Gus Edwards actually.
That team's going to run a lot.
Yeah, exactly. That's when we're like, I think the coaching tendencies are probably something we can expect.
So I was going to say it's the coaching tendencies, but it's also what they did. Like
right.
you have the assumption that they're going to run because of the coaching tendencies, but then they just beef up the offensive line. They don't really do much to add to the passing game. They're kind of just screaming like, yeah, we're going to run a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And they've said it also several times like that they want to run a lot. So yeah. I got to say, as a Niners fan, I love the name Jewish McCaffrey. I've seen you floating around Underdog. Also, we are first and third in my best dance pod right now. Yeah, Jewish McCaffrey does everything Underdog all the time. Adam, I hope you're not offended that I keep pulling up comments and it's just right over your face, just like you can't see you when I bring the comment up. That's one thing.
I think that it was poor planning on your part not to flip it, but
that's funny. I was going to say, I learned as I was figuring out the StreamYard overlay that you can't actually do anything with the comments. You can't move where the comments go.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it was poor planning on my part to not like change where the comment is, but that's funny. Yeah. That was good. That was not bad.
Yeah, no, it is annoying that like they just, it's the same thing with like actually, how did you, I don't know how you got the banner, like your banner where it is.
I'm just really good at this stuff. Adam. I'm like a top-notch producer.
Actually, no, I have that too. Never mind. I take it back.
I still have not added the. I'm sure it's really simple to do because you figured it out. But the streaming down on the bottom, like the thing.
When you make the banner, there's a checkbox that says like ticker.
Oh, interesting. All right, that's good to know. I figured it was probably pretty easy.
Yeah,
wait,
I don't know how to.
I don't think I did a banner. I think I just did an overlay. So this is like I did this join the Flaniverse Discord where that's my overlay.
Okay, but like, so like where you did, well, I guess that's my name when I joined the room. Okay, so if you make a banner, there's a checkbox for ticker.
Okay. I hate that I am maybe learning something from you right now after Larry said that I should try to learn from you. But all right, I'll look into banners. I guess I'll Google how do I make a banner on stream.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to do like what you did in the overlay. Like I just made the overlay so that my face was where I wanted it and my screen share was where I wanted it. Yeah. I feel like I didn't even do the screen share right because like it's not zoomed in correctly. But
really, yeah,
it was. I did it. I was able to do it quick enough, and it looks good enough that I knew expectations for me were incredibly low, so I wasn't too worried about about that.
I was going to say, Larry, like you're really impressed with Adam because our expectations for him were like, he's never going to figure this out. Like he's going to have to call in a producer of some sort to do this for him. So we're just all amazed that you actually got your YouTube channel up and running.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that I started a channel, I did a show, and I had something that resembled some sort of a layout, I think was exceeding expectations.
Super, super impressive. Good job to you.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming back around to our pick. I still have Josh Downs. I feel like we can push him if he comes to us at 12-3. That's right around ADP. I guess we take him there, but I don't feel good about it. I don't really want Josh Downs. Where does Stafford go? I guess we got to consider that also here. Oh, he's at 143. I have some opinions here, but yeah. I'm going to wait a minute to share what I'm thinking. I'm actually still kind of formulating what I want to do here, like what Jacoby Myers goes. All right, I was going to say if Rashid Shaheed was still available, I was going to say we should go Rashid Shaheed. But since he is gone, do we just go with these two? Do we go Stafford? I mean, we also have backstacking options with Seattle.
How are we at running back?
No, we only have two running backs.
Should we take one of these running backs?
Rico Dowdle. Oh, should we go Zeke?
I mean, I don't think the answer to that's ever yes, but sure.
All right, let's go Dowdle. All right. we have the backstacking options with Kirk is still there too. So we could still take
Oh,
Kirk here.
I'd rather go Kirk than Stafford.
Yeah, I mean, we have the double stack with Stafford, but I think Kirk is just
Yeah,
better. So it's one of
yeah.
those like,
I mean, Kirk's better, and with Nakua and Cup, like obviously they're scoring, but like you're just getting equity too through receptions, which isn't doing anything for Stafford.
true.
He doesn't run. Not that Kirk does either, but
Yeah. Oh, Jewish McCaffrey, he might take him because he has Kyle Pitts.
yeah.
You didn't hear me say that, Jewish McCaffrey. That's the downside to streaming. It's just like,
Yeah,
you
you're
can hear everything.
so, yeah, you're on a delay, but not enough of a delay.
Yeah, exactly. But he also knows he has Kyle Pitts. Like he does a million.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think you're I don't think you're informing him.
Yeah. So assuming he goes Kirk here, do we do our double stack with Josh Downs? Oh, he goes Cooks.
No, he left it.
All right, he left him for us. You are a gentleman and a scholar, JMC.
I think you go Stafford here if Kirk gets taken.
Okay, just get one of our quarter. Okay, we got Kirk.
Yeah, because like that fallback stack with Seattle is pretty weak, and like it's not like it's guaranteed we get it. Like if we then like you're taking on a lot of risk because you could miss the Seattle stack too, and it's not even that good if you get it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Jewish McCaffrey, please. I am not going to put up your comment. I don't want to be accused of colluding. Tyler, what's going? By the way, Tyler, need to get you on the stream. I think we've talked at some point about Tyler coming on the stream at some point. Another big time underdog drafter who I think who is doing at least one weekly show now. So would love to have you on sometime, Tyler. But yes, thank you for the reminder. Please do like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. Would appreciate it. All right, let's see here. We have a lot of comments here that I want to catch up on. I think BKS, so this is B. Sandark, who was on the show with me yesterday, thinks that, are you talking about Adonai Mitchell you think is going to be a riser?
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Interesting. I don't know. I don't think I see it, but maybe you could be right. Yeah, did you do any playoff best ball this year, Adam? I see these guys talking about their dance stuff. You didn't do it?
No, I didn't do any NBA best ball this year at all.
I did a bunch of like last minute. I did 104 NBA best ball drafts. I think I got 44 of them through. There was some overlay, so I benefited from that.
Yeah.
I am really annoyed because I drafted like well over the expectation I drafted of Ant. Like I was like, I'm a homer. I want to take my Timberwolves, but because of the sweep, like all my Timberwolves teams are dead. Like any of my good Timberwolves teams are just dead. Yeah, in the playoffs. So like I'm not going to benefit from the Timberwolves. If they win the championship, I'm not going to benefit financially in any way, which I guess I can just be a regular fan, but also like I usually have, like I've invested in the Timberwolves so many times that it's like, this is the year they're going to do it when I don't have anything tied to it financially. Kind of hurts a little bit.
Yeah. I never do playoff stuff. It's weird. It's the same reason I don't really do like preseason stuff. And I should, like, there's an edge because the strategy, like there's actually strategy and stuff, but it's like, I don't know. It's just like mind numbing to me. Like, I don't want to sit and try and figure out, like playoff matchups and, or, preseason coach speak and all that. Like, it's just, I find it so unenjoyable that I never do it.
Interesting. I super enjoy it. Like it's like the draft, like there's a little bit more of a like gets your heart going during the draft element of it, of like I really want this guy, like I want this stack, and like if you snipe me, and there are people who just like take players at random, like have no strategy at all, so it's like there's that element, that like wild card element to it. I don't know, it is to me it is very fun, but maybe especially once it gets going.
Yeah, I'll say maybe once I did it, I would enjoy it. I've never been able to motivate myself to do it.
We're on the clock. Yeah, Burton's there. I assume you don't want to go 3 quarterback here?
Not particularly.
All right.
Especially because we have 2 good quarterbacks.
We do have 2 good quarterbacks. We got 3 running backs again. Yeah, we just go Burton again.
Yeah, I was mad at myself for not doing regular season NBA best ball because I thought it was really soft last year. That's another one. Like people, maybe they did this year. Last year, it's like people didn't know that you could look at the schedule and figure out how many games your guys were going to play. Like, I don't remember how it was. I guess during the playoff period. you know, like I remember people being like, "Oh, like that really sucks." Like Adam has 8 guys going, and I have 6, and it's like,
Right.
yeah, it's because
Plan
Adam,
for that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Adam looked at the
Right.
schedule, or at least the rankings that I used looked at the schedule.
Yeah. Right. That is funny. Yeah, there's still an edge in a lot of these
Yeah,
games. DFS to me it's dried up a lot, but a lot of other places. All right, so we could go Antonio Gibson here. We went Bucky Irving last time. We could take a second, or we could go Ray Davis actually.
yeah, yeah, get Buffalo exposure.
Yeah, I don't
I
hate
think he's a
that.
really good fit on a team like this too, because like that backfield, you don't know what it's going to do. You know that team's going to move the ball.
Yeah,
Um, there's just that really nice potential that fits nicely into a team that like needs it at running back.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know why I didn't do NBA this like because it was during it was during the summer, so I wasn't even working. I taking time off. I had nothing to do. That's probably what the problem was I just had nothing to do, so I was just
yeah.
doing irresponsible shit the entire time and not sitting around drafting best ball.
Yep. No, I get that. I got like the last minute itch for NBA playoff best ball this year, and was
Yeah,
like, all right, I'm all in now. Once I kind of figured out, it's also like the drafting is addicting. So it's like once you start doing it, I think
yeah,
you're right. Like if you started doing it, you would have been addicted because it's so fun. Like I got the random like you usually can't get Nikola Jokic at the 101. You usually don't get Jamal Murray to come back to you, but like occasionally Jamal Murray, and you'll be able to do like the full all the best Denver guys on one team, and just like the adrenaline rush there was
right.
so good. Yeah, it's
and then you're looking at all the other teams like hopefully nobody punted this draft because I really want to keep this team.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, Calvin Hoba says Kirk over Stafford is interesting to me. Is it because of the new Achilles surgery? So Stafford wasn't that good last year, or like hasn't really been that good even when his receivers do well, because I think they just rack up PPR points a lot. I don't know. He's never really been that good of a fantasy quarterback for whatever reason. Whereas Kirk, I think, runs a little bit more and just ends up throwing more touchdowns. I don't know. I could be. I'm sort of talking up my ass. I feel like this has been what I recall being the case. Is like even when his receivers are really good, Stafford is not that good. Whereas Kirk is usually a pretty good quarterback. I don't know.
For me, it's just like again, it's not that I'm looking like that I have anything in front of me, but like Cousins just. I mean, I like the offense, but I think the first thing you said, it's not that I think the Rams' offense is going to be really good. I think it's that Nakua and Kupp are just going to catch so many passes, which doesn't translate to Stafford being any good.
Right.
Like the Atlanta offense, like I think it's easy to at least envision what it would look like if London and Pitts are just catching a million touchdowns.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I Andy agrees. Taking Puka and Kupp, thinks we maybe should take Stafford. I don't know. I can see the case. I think that it was kind of a toss up there. Like I like Cousins better. I think Cousins is likely to have a bigger pick. But also we did take both those receivers early. So I think they have a point that like, because we made the bet so early on both of those receivers, you probably need a good amount of touchdowns too. Like I think both of us are thinking like, well, they're going to be PPR monsters. This is why we like them. But they still probably need to score some touchdowns.
But they don't have to do them in the same week either. Like,
yeah.
And I think the counter argument to this is we just got an additional stack. Like the Rams can have a good offensive game, score 24, 25 points, and Stafford not really do anything special. Like Kupp catches a touchdown and 8 passes. Puka catches 8 passes for like 90 yards. And then you have Drake London catch, 2 touchdowns from Cousins. Like getting that additional stack, I think, is also valuable. I think, I'm not disagreeing that Stafford would have like fit really well there, or like I'm not arguing that Cousins was like a clear pick over him. But I think that there's always like the second side to that, to like the stacking conversation. Like people are always like, oh well, this could happen, or like if this happens you need this, and it's like, yeah, well, that could also very easily not happen and this could happen instead.
Yeah. Yep. We are sitting at just one tight end so far. Juwan Johnson is a guy that the like ETR and leg up both seem to really like. I wouldn't hate going there, get our second tight end here, or if you want like any of these other.
I think Johnson's fine. If not, I would want to go McCaffrey, I think.
Let's go Johnson. I think there's a good chance McCaffrey comes back around. I think that's just a homer pick for you.
It is.
Oh, there's no way McCaffrey comes back around just with Jewish McCaffrey on the turn. Yeah. But I think the Juwan Johnson made sense for us there.
Yeah, so, I agree.
Whatever. Jewish McCaffrey famously named his team after Luke McCaffrey. Jewish McCaffrey, same boat. He says, my Minnesota and OKC teams out. I was super heavy on Embiid at really late ADP when he was certain advanced half my teams. Yeah, same for me. It's like, assuming that it's the Timberwolves and Dallas that advance, I don't think I'm going to have any real live teams going forward. I have some teams that have probably 5 Pacers or 5 Knicks. I don't know, but even if they advance, I'm not going to feel great about it. So
Yeah.
Same boat. Drake May for Jewish McCaffrey. He has Jalen Hurts, Drake May. He goes Tyrone Tracy. I like Tyrone Tracy as a late round running back pick.
Yeah, me too.
You don't know who that is, do you?
I have no idea who that is.
All right, we got Luke McCaffrey to come back around to us. Another influencer non-pick for us. Unofficially, not official.
But yeah, that's a pure homer pick, and also it's a really athletic dude that who knows how they're going to use him in this offense.
Yeah, that's fair. Jewish McCaffrey, not a fan of the regular season NBA best ball. Didn't play it. No take there. Oh yeah, being heavy on the Lakers. That was a hard thing. It was like, I feel like the teams you needed, the players you needed to advance were like, Joel Embiid was like really good to advance from the first round. Of course, now he's dead. Anthony Davis, LeBron, I think were both pretty good, both dead. Paolo Banchero was like incredible. Like if you had him on your team, he really helped you advance, and now dead in the second round. So it's an interesting contest, the NBA playoff best ball. We'll see how it goes. How did that game end? Knicks win?
I don't know. I know somebody chopped. I was just looking at my Discord. Somebody chopped the NBA Showdown Mini Max with my logo, which looks cool. I like that.
I didn't know other people were using your logo now.
Yeah, there's a couple. People asked for it. Like, it was not something that I thought about doing. People were like, "Do you have an avatar we can use?" And
that's cool.
So I threw the one that the person made for me for my YouTube. I was just like, "Yeah, you can use this."
Sweet. Are you using that one now?
Yeah.
Have you switched?
Yeah.
That's cool. How come none of you assholes have asked me for my logo? I guess because I don't do DFS content. I guess that's fair. That's fair. I'm not even using my best ball whenever logo. I'm using the playing for keeps logo for DraftKings, which is like the worst logo. Just like literally just like use the words. Use one of their fonts.
Yeah. That's the one you should be using though, probably.
Playing for keeps.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I would think, like,
because it's not best ball on DraftKings and
right, and people playing DraftKings are more likely to watch playing for keeps, I would think.
Definitely true. Yeah. Yeah. Also easier to read, like it's just big text as opposed to like a circle with hands in it where you can sort of kind of read the text. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. We have Anthony Richardson, Kirk Cousins at quarterback. At running back, we have Najee Harris, Brian Robinson, Rico Dowdle, Ray Davis. At wide receiver, we have Puka Nacua, Drake London, Cooper Kupp, Rome Odunze, Jackson Smith-Njigba, A.D. Mitchell, Jermaine Burton, and Luke McCaffrey. At tight end, we have Travis Kelce and Jawan Johnson. And we have just 2 picks left. I think we jam running back here.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, we're kind of thin at running back. So that makes sense for us. Whether any of these running backs are worth taking is a question. That is a question, but some interesting names. I don't have particularly strong takes on these running backs.
My only take is that the two at the top, like Mitchell and Shipley, at least you're getting, kind of like I was saying with Ray Davis, like at least you're getting the really good offense where if things just break weird, you could suddenly have a stud. Same goes for, Grando too, but
yeah,
obviously he's behind Mitchell. He'd be like the perfect round 20 guy on DraftKings.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he could be like enormous contingent value if he is the running back 2 and Christian McCaffrey goes down. He also might just be the buried running back 3.
Yeah, he might not see the field, but San Francisco always does weird shit with running backs. They clearly like the guy. And so like you also shouldn't be surprised if by week 2 you're like, "Oh no, I didn't draft this guy."
Yeah, exactly. Adam, how are you doing on your glass of wine?
It's still like half full.
Do you want to do another draft like immediately, or do you want to be done?
No, I'll do it.
Whatever. All right. I think that if we doing another one here, I think we just jump into it without going over the teams. We have a couple people that are in the draft with us, with both Gerardo and JMC. Maybe we just read them off real quickly, like as quickly as possible after we make this pick, and then just jump into another one. All right. So I think we go. Do we just go Will Shipley here? Bet on both offenses. All right. Let's go. Let's go Will Shipley. I guess we could have gone Garendo and get like the clear.
I don't like that as much since we have Mitchell.
Yeah, it's like both backup running backs.
Right.
Doesn't feel that good. All right,
it increases your chances of being right if McCaffrey gets hurt, which I guess is fine. But I mean, ideally, like McCaffrey, I don't want to say it like that, but like ideally, McCaffrey
right.
In this circumstance, McCaffrey gets hurt, and it happens to be Mitchell, and then also
Saquon
everybody, Barkley. Saquon and everybody on the Eagles gets hurt, and it's Shipley.
Exactly. All right, I'm going to read off the teams of the people who drafted with us just very quickly. I'll start with our team. We got Anthony Richardson and Kirk Cousins at quarterback. We have Najee Harris, Brian Robinson Jr., Rico Dowdle, Ray Davis, and Elijah Mitchell, and Will Shipley at running back. At wide receiver, we have Puka Nacua, Drake London, Cooper Kupp, Roma Dunze, Jackson Smith-Njigba, A.D. Mitchell, Jermaine Burton, Luke McCaffrey, and at tight end, we got Travis Kelce and Jawan Johnson. Gerardo was also in here. Moderate, best ball moderate is in here also. He got Josh Allen and Russell Wilson at quarterback. Joe Mixon, Ramondre Stevenson, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, Marshawn Lloyd, and Khalil Herbert at running back. He got Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, T. Higgins, Khalil Shakir, Jacoby Myers, Ricky Pearsall, Roman Wilson at wide receiver. And at tight end, he has George Kittle. Oh, I forgot it does that. Shoot. At tight end, he has George Kittle, Chiga Okonkwo, and Mike Gesicki. So he did it. I forgot that it does this, Adam, where it every time goes back to my team as soon as somebody makes a pick. That's
that's annoying for what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I guess other than that, it doesn't really matter, but it kind of does because you want to look at other people's teams also.
Right.
I guess you can do it this way. It's probably easier. So he had Josh Allen with at least Khalil Shakir, so he did have at least one stack in there. Oh, and he took Russell Wilson with his. He took a wide receiver early somewhere there. So he had Josh Allen and waited till Russell Wilson, and he had with Russ Wilson, he had just Roman Wilson. So he's betting on that Wilson connection. And then he has Buffalo, Khalil Shakir. And then we had Jewish McCaffrey in here. He had Jalen Hurts and Drake May. At running back, he had Kenneth Walker, Jalen Warren, Javonte Williams, Tyler Algier, Tyrone Tracy, Dylan Lobby. He has A.J. Brown with his Hurts, Marvin Harrison Jr., Devontae Smith with his Hurts, Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks, he has a little Green Bay, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Polk, and Kendrick Bourne. So he does a lot of secondary correlations here. And then he has Kyle Pitts and Dallas Goedert with Hurts. So his second running back, does he have? Oh, he did both Jalen Polk and Kendrick Bourne. Never mind. So that was a primary stack. All right. I think we will just jump right into another draft here. So jump on in if you want to draft with us. This one is about halfway full right now. Give me a chance to sip on my wine a little bit. I get this big old glass of wine. I did this last time I did playing for keeps also with Kelowna and just barely drank it. So
you said, sorry, I missed something about barely drinking a glass of wine.
I bring these basically a double glass of wine when I do these shows. And the last time when I did playing for keeps with BP Kelowna, I drank like a few sips and just like forgot to drink my wine. It's
yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. When I poured it, I was like, okay, that's like a normal glass, and then I was like, okay, I'll pour basically a second glass so I can just save a trip, and then I've drank half of like one glass.
Yeah. Jewish McCaffrey, I think you know the answer to this question. How did you and Adam meet? We were coworkers. I guess we sort of knew each other on Twitter before we were coworkers, because I watched Adam at Stochastic before I ever got there. Before I won the Millie, I actually the morning of when I won the Millie, I watched Adam. He was on one of those NFL shows, so Adam gets a 0.001% of the credit for my Millie win. I was
gonna say I made Neil good at DFS, and then we became coworkers.
Yeah, exactly right. Adam made me good at DFS. We became coworkers. But yeah, that is how we know each other, just from DFS and becoming coworkers. I give Adam credit, even though I'm like, there's a 99.9% chance I would have done it anyway. But Adam did give the reminder of, because that morning the two players in my lineup were Devonte Adams and Jamal Williams from the Packers. Were like, they were both the chalk, and Adam gave the reminder of, make sure you allow for two players, running backs, wide receivers from the same team without the quarterback this week, because you're going to want to have some teams with them.
Yeah, back when I still thought that stupid rule was a good rule in general, which
Yeah, right. Good point.
yeah,
And I did too. I at that point, like I had already loosened it up somewhat. Like I had stopped making that rule. But I did. I don't know. It was still something that I did sometimes. The no more
that
than one of us
show,
with quarterback.
like it didn't get nearly as much viewership as it should have. That show for me was like my favorite show of the week because I actually got to like learn things. And yeah, that show, like if I wasn't doing that show, because I'm generally not as good at reviewing lineups as I should be, like I probably would have gone at least another full season of just setting that stupid rule that was for sure costing me money.
That's right. That was still, and that was, I'm glad that you were still doing the show at the time, because then I got to go in and just listen to you guys talk about my lineup. You were forced to say nice things about me. This guy has a stochastic logo who won the Millie. That was fun. That was one of the fun things about winning the Millie, was you guys had that review show on Monday mornings where we would go over all of the lineups and had to say nice things about my lineup. So that was fun for me. And then the next year, I think you were done doing it. You just stopped doing the Millie review show.
Yeah, it didn't. Nobody watched it.
Yeah, which is bizarre.
It was the most valuable show that we did.
Yeah,
from just a getting better at DFS standpoint, and nobody watched it.
People just want the picks, man. That's all they want. Yeah, that was. I loved that show, and I watched it every week, even without, when I was not being reviewed. Yeah, it was interesting what people are into. And then Jewish McCaffrey also asked, any funny stories about Alex Baker? So Alex was basically not a huge part of the company behind the scenes by the time I got there. Like he had taken a step back by the time I was really involved at Stochastic. So honestly, like big fan of Alex. Obviously, I love his Twitter presence, but I don't really have great behind the scenes of Alex Baker. Do you have any funny stories?
I mean, I don't know if funny is the right word, but like the first time I met Alex was 2016. I was a +1 at a Fantasy Aces live final, and I was ranked ahead of him at the time. And so I like meet him at this final. I have no idea who he is. And I think he might have known who I was. Maybe he didn't. I don't remember. But he like introduced himself and, said his screen name. And I'm just like, okay, cool. I don't know who you are. And then like, I think we might have even like I think Roto Grinders rankings maybe came up and like I was ahead of him. And which is why I wouldn't even remember it. So I'm just like, yeah, cool. I met this person. He was nice, whatever. I have no idea who he is. And then like a year later, I'm like, oh shit, that's that guy that I met. And now he's like #1 and really, really good.
Yeah. Turns out he's like one of the best DFS players on the planet. I'm getting back into this draft. The thing happened again that happens every time. I wish it's annoying that happens. I have no idea what's going on there. But I am getting back to the draft. Don't you guys worry. We'll get there in time for we got the 12th overall pick. Not sure if you saw that, Adam.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, so we did not have great drafting luck. Assume you want early picks. And we will bring this back up. I've told the story before of my first time like seeing Alex Baker. So and I had gone to the Awesemo, like I came across Awesemo just like I was watching some other DFS stream, and after then it redirected me to an Awesemo show. And I think it was Adam and Josh were on it, and I was like, oh, these guys seem cool. They seem like they know what they're talking about. And then I don't think it was probably not even the first time. Probably happened multiple times. And then after a while, I was like, oh yeah, like I realized that I was really really enjoyed this show, and then ended up going watching Awesemo shows all the time, because it was like these guys are all really sharp, like seem to know what they're talking about, and kind of made the switch over to Awesemo back when it was Adam, Josh, Eddie Fear, all those guys. But then there was a show that and part of what I was like, it was legit in part because it had the Awesemo name, and I was like, well, I know that name, I see it at the top of the leaderboard, this Awesemo guy, like he's incredible. So like I knew that Awesemo was like one of the best players in the world, so that like did kind of legitimize the site to me to some extent. But and I'll wait till after we make our picks to continue this story. I've told this story several times. We could go Marvin Harrison, Drake
Can we
London.
not go Drake London?
Could we go Jahmyr Gibbs, Marvin Harrison? They're
Yeah.
top of the board for us.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So I loved the show because it was really informative, but also like Adam and Josh had great chemistry. Like they were always like clearly got along really well. Like it was just like a fun show, watching Adam and Josh, like the way they interacted. And then one day Alex came on and it was like the whole chemistry changed. And I was like, why is this guy on the show? Like, don't have this guy on this. Like, it was like the first time I saw Alex, I was like, please don't ever have this guy on a show again, because these guys clearly don't want to like be funny in front of their boss. So it was kind of my impression. It was like, these guys are really like, they tamped it down in front of their boss. They're not going to be as funny, they're not as interesting. And then it was probably Alex started being a regular on the show. And within a couple weeks, it was like, I just want to watch every show this guy, Alex Baker, is on. Cause he was like clearly so sharp and he's so funny, which like, didn't come through in that first show, but like over time it was like, oh, he's actually a really funny guy himself. But that's my funniest Alex Baker story. Is the first time I saw him, I was just like, I'm not into this at all. Like I want this guy to leave. And then pretty quickly it was like, oh, this guy's super sharp and funny and entertaining. So changed things pretty quickly. Was he like just like a once a week kind of? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I feel like it was for a while. He was not that often.
Yeah, I think I know, but at some point I know like me and him had a weekly where like I don't know, Josh was off and it was just me and him. Yeah, I don't. He was doing shows pretty regularly for a bit.
Yeah,
and he was good at it. I agree with you.
Yeah.
The actual funny story from that live final though was that Draft Cheat slept through lock and played someone not playing, and he was like, at the time. We saw that it was Dragon Bender, I think. He was like doubtful to play for the Suns, but if he played, he would have been like the best value on the slate, but he was doubtful. And lock hits and DC has him at like, he's the only person that played him, obviously. And so me and the person I was there with Siege and we're talking, we're just like, that's like, we actually convinced ourselves that it was like a sharp move because like DC was so good.
Yeah.
We're like, and we're at this point assuming he had done it on purpose. We're like, is it actually like a smart move that he's just like, okay, if this doubtful tag plays, I just like win this tournament. And then we get to the event and he's like so pissed off because he set an alarm and slept through it.
That is awful. How do you, oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're at risk of sleeping through it, you got to just like put in a player who's going to play there.
Yeah. I mean, it went from like, oh, I can't wait to ask him what he was thinking to be like, oh, I feel really bad.
Yeah, that sucks. He just had a big win in best ball, I think.
He just won a season-long tournament for like 150.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, season-long, yeah. All right, we're on the turn, which makes things easier, like from a content perspective, kind of just like we make our picks and then it's like done for a while.
Yeah.
I think in general, like even without considering content, I like drafting from the turn better than, which I think it's like, it's probably better from an EV standpoint to draft from like the 11 spot than the 12 spot, because then you can figure out what the 12 spot is doing, kind of push it like,
yeah.
But like from a just like enjoyment perspective, it feels better drafting from the turn for me.
Yeah. Like I like the fact that you just get your two picks, but like, I think you're right because there's so many times you can look at 12 and be like, well, I know what they're going to take. So basically you're just like jumping them for the first guy and then you're still getting who you want.
Yeah, exactly. Bindles, I'm just seeing Bindles in chat. Bindles coming on the channel tomorrow afternoon, so you guys should come check that out. Always, it's going to be the first time we've streamed together, so another guest stream tomorrow with Bindles. Really looking forward to that. Doing our first show together. Hopefully, we'll do some more because I think Bindles and I are often drafting at the same time or around the same time. So looking forward to doing that as well. All right, we're coming up. So we got a running back in the first. I was going to say if Sam Laporta is still available to us, we could consider stacking him up with Jahmyr Gibbs, but he is gone. He went super early. He went at the 26 overall here. So I guess not that far ahead of ADP, but a bit ahead of ADP. All right, coming up on our turn. All right, so I think there are a lot of ways we can go here, Adam. We could do Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith. We could actually go Mahomes, Kelsey, and then hope for one of those Chiefs receivers to come back around to us at 60. Do you have any thoughts here on what you'd like to do?
I kind of like Hurts Smith just because I always like Hurts more than Mahomes just because of the rushing.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I think that's probably the better, and obviously, according to ADP, I think most people agree that is the better pick. The I haven't done the Mahomes Kelsey. I'll probably do it at some point. The Mahomes.
I
Kelsey,
never have as much Mahomes as like at the end. It's like, oh, I wish I had more Mahomes, but I never get Mahomes.
There was who was it 2 years ago? There was a receiver that everybody was taking early with Mahomes. Man, I can't remember who it was.
I don't know if it's the same one you're talking. Debo, I had like none of either last year or the year before. He was going like end of the second round maybe or something, or like maybe even, I think he was going like, I don't know, like 13th or 14th overall maybe, and I just had like none.
Oh, it was Juju. Yeah, James.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple years, 2 or 3 years ago, it was like Juju was like, oh, he's going, and he was good in Pittsburgh, so everybody just thought he's going to be so good with Patrick Mahomes.
People do it with the Chiefs every year. Like, oh, it's Juju. Oh, it's
Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, it was Sky Moore a couple years in a row.
And like,
last year and the year before.
I get it. If you hit on that guy, like it's massive. But at some point, you kind of, it's by design that he spreads the ball around too.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's I'll probably do it at some point just because it's fun, like to just imagine you get Mahomes and Kelsey and then do the turn, and you could maybe you might even luck into two of those guys at the turn, and you just imagine he's going to throw for 6,000 yards, but it's probably not something you want to do too often.
Well, the one thing that also will change soon, and maybe this year, like Kelsey is clearly, or has been clearly, the one receiver. So then he spreads it out to the rest. At some point, Kelsey's going to actually age and fall off, and there might be a legitimate one out of that group of receivers.
So my Kelsey, I'm actually a little bit worried about him this year. We took him, and I want to have some exposure to him. I think I'm going to be underweight to the field on Kelsey. I think that I feel as safe with Trey McBride or Mark Andrews as I do with Kelsey, just because they like started sitting him during the regular season last year. They didn't use him nearly as often last year. I think he had like 70% route participation. Target share I think was down a little bit because they were like clearly saving him. And then in the playoffs, it was like they ramped him up. Like, okay, now it's full go Kelsey. And I'm worried that they're gonna he's getting older, that they're gonna continue doing that during the regular season. Just like we don't need to use this guy as much as we have. But
it makes sense for them. Yeah, it's so tough at tight end. Like I always fall into the trap of like, oh, these mid-range tight ends have upside, and then it's just like, no, they're tight ends, they suck. I swear
to God, more than any other position, tight ends every single year, all 32 teams hype up their tight end one. Sometimes tight ends too. Like you hear so much hype about all of the tight ends. Like he's going to take a leap forward. He's going to be used like a wide receiver one this year. Like, so you hear all this hype about every tight end. And then it's like, nope, there are 3 good tight ends. Yeah, happens every year. But this year, it doesn't work for those people, but it'll work for us. But last year, we actually had some elite. Like I think that we have better reason to believe in the elite tight ends this year because McBride was so good last year. Kelsey's still Kelsey, and also like Kelsey and Mark Andrews are going so much later than they had been. Laporta was so good last year. Like I think that it's actually legit. Like I love the elite tight ends this year. I think they're more likely to work out this year, but maybe
it is nice that you have young tight ends that have already had success instead of the newest 3 rookie tight ends that are going to suck like every other rookie tight end before them.
Right. All right, we're coming back around to our pick. We have Jalen Hurts, Jahmyr Gibbs, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Devontae Smith here. Could get your guy McLaurin, potentially. Marquise Brown is there.
That could be a fun stat. If you were able to get McLaurin and Daniels to go with Hurts and Smith.
Yeah, it'd be super fun. I would also be fine taking Pitts again. We didn't take him last time.
I think
these two
either of them are fine. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
If we had gone to Holmes Kelsey, we could have really had fun with KC.
True. Yeah, we could have gotten the full on stack here.
Yeah.
All right. So our next. So if Jaden comes to us, he would be a little bit of a faller here. I think that's actually right around ADP, and it's fine with. Like if we don't get him, that's totally fine. So
it's not like we reached for McLaurin.
Yeah, I don't think we need. I guess I'm saying we don't need to reach for Jaden
No.
Daniels on this next turn. If he comes to us the next one, though, I'd be happy taking him.
Yeah, I think it's just like if he's there, you take him, or if like you hate everything else and he's there.
Right. Yeah, we're in a good spot here. I'm liking this team so far. Kelsey, yeah, this is also my concern. Kelsey might be good during the first half, and then they just like don't really use him after Rice comes back. Definitely some concern there. And then, did Joe Burrow go naked? Yeah, that's. Are we on watch out for anybody who's throwing this?
No, he's drafting good players. They just don't make sense together.
Yeah. Maybe he's gonna snipe us on Jermaine Burton later.
Right? Yeah, I'll say. Was that like value on Burrow? No.
No, this is way ahead of ADP. Yeah. I want to say that's 2 rounds ahead of ADP, maybe. Yeah, but it's a good offense. I mean, I think last year Burrow was going around the
third round,
the
fourth
4-5 turn, 4-5 turn. Yeah.
Yep.
Lad McConkey. I assume you don't have any strong opinions on Lad McConkey?
No.
He's like probably
I know he went
wide
to
receiver
Georgia,
1.
right? Georgia?
I don't know. I don't know where he went. I know he's the wide receiver 1 for the Chargers now. And I know some people are really, really buying into the, like, that he's good. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, Georgia.
Look at you.
Yeah.
More of a ball knower than I am.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, I know that people think he's good, and I'm not saying that as far as like they're wrong. Like he might be good. I have no opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got to check out the Bindles was throwing out a name of, there's like a YouTube channel where you can watch highlights of all the college football guys. Where do you stand on watching highlights of college players?
I mean, I enjoy it when like I enjoy highlight reels, but like so this kind of goes back to what I was saying before when we were talking about the coordinators and stuff. I absolutely think that there is a type of person that can like watch highlights and envision how they fit into the NFL and make informed decisions. If I watch anybody's highlight, all I think is, holy shit, that guy's really athletic. If he gets opportunities, he's going to be great for anybody. Doesn't matter.
I feel like I think it would benefit me to watch college high. And I don't think that I'd be like great at it. Like I'm not like an NFL scout by any means,
right.
But I like, there was, I don't think I've told this story. So a few years ago, there was a prospect, Joel Bollenboy was an NBA prospect for the Jazz. And I did a basketball card group break where I took the Jazz, hoping to get like a Karl Malone or John Stockton. They had some really nice, it was National Treasures, hoping for their Logo Man cards is why I took the Jazz, and they were also really cheap. But I lucked into, I guess you could say, a Joel Ollenboy rookie Logo Man autograph, like his best NBA card. I got this in a group break, so it was like $39. Got this card that was probably worth $2,000, whatever. And I had people DM me like, you should watch this guy's tape. He's going to be really good. He's going to be amazing. And so I watched his tape. I was like, all right, people are telling me. I was like, no, this is just a guy who's really tall, who can beat like really short college players. Like it was like everything he was doing, like it was pretty clear to me, like he's not doing anything that like looks extremely skillful to me. It's more just like, he looks like a monster against these like little college athletes. Now, whether that would translate to me being able to like see that for an NFL player, probably not. But like, I don't know. I think that I could benefit somewhat from watching.
Yeah. I don't think it would make me worse. Like,
yeah.
But I don't like if I'm looking like, let's say you're just talking about there's a group of rookie wide receivers that you can take at similar ADP. I'm not pulling anything out of highlights that is giving me like an advantage.
I'm probably not either. I guess I've had the concern in the past that it might make me worse. Like I'll just like be biased then. Like, okay, this guy's really good.
What's gonna happen is you're gonna be biased toward the most freakishly athletic guy because your eye is definitely not picking up the best route runner.
Yeah, like, exactly.
You're not somebody that's pulling Puka out. I know there was one of the.
Let's make our pick. So we have Christian Watson, Deontay Johnson. We do have Marvin Harrison Jr. So we could take Kyler Murray if we wanted to. Could go running back.
I think I kind of like just going Watson and Deontay.
All right, we only have 3 receivers, so I think that makes sense.
And like Watson clearly has the potential to really outperform ADP if he's healthy.
Yep.
And Love, continues to play well. One of the prominent, like, I don't know what to call him. I don't know if he's best, but I think just general fantasy football like analysts. One of the people that, like, he's not a DFS guy or anything, or like season long guy necessarily, but like he just does football stuff. I don't even remember who it was. I just remember seeing the clip after the fact of him like in the preseason, like pumping up Puka and saying like, no, this guy is like an elite route runner. He blah, blah, blah. This is why he went so late in the draft. Like, but on tape, XYZ. And I watched it and I was like, that's not like, I don't consume a lot of content, but I was like, that's something that like would have actually, that kind of content would make me better, because I don't need you to tell me how to strategize to draft or how to, do that kind of stuff. If you can actually pick out like stuff like that on tape, but the problem is a lot of people think they can and they can't.
Right.
So it's kind of like, and it's hard for me to sift through, but like there's definitely people that can do it. I'm not going to watch NFL tape and be like, oh yeah, that guy runs great routes, he's going to overperform. Like, no, I'm going to just take the guy that runs really fast.
Yeah. I think that you and I are probably similar in that I think that it's within our skill set to figure out who is good at that and follow their advice more so than like we're going to be able to like
100%
tell from the tape. I know Derek Brown was super into Puka Nacua last year, in part because I did a best ball. I think this just hang on. I did a best ball draft with Derek last year where we had predetermined that we were going to take Puka, and we got to our last pick and I left auto pick on, and it because I had, oh man, something's going wrong with my screen here, so give me a minute here to refresh this. Because I had set positional limits, I accidentally took somebody else instead of Puka after we had determined. So I lost a Puka share because I had set positional limits and didn't realize that would, even though I had starred him, it would give me somebody else. Refresh. Yeah, it did. It logged me out. I don't understand what's going on lately with Underdog.
Oh, he logged you out completely?
Yeah. So I am getting back into this draft.
Or at least we had like 20 picks to go.
True. Good timing. All right, I am back in. Now I'll pull it up. All right. We are back. So yeah, I know Debra. There were a few people. I don't remember who else. There were at least a couple people who were super in on Puka, but he was like also one of those that was super divisive. There were other people that I respect who were like very much like, oh, you can't draft this guy. Like, I don't know. It's he was very polarizing as a player. Michael says, good to see a ship. You can also, Adam does have his own new YouTube channel. If you haven't already checked that out, I put the link to Adam's new YouTube channel in the description of this video. So if you want to see more of Ship, and if you're playing MLB DFS, highly recommend going to subscribe to his channel because he's doing regular shows right now. Go check that out. Also want to pull up, go T-Wolves. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. It's been pretty fun watching the Timberwolves. I did just learn, Adam. I've been telling people that I have tickets to all of the Timberwolves games. I just learned that even though I had told the person from my group who's in charge of tickets that I wanted tickets for Friday, I was the only one who wanted a ticket, and he did not get me a ticket for the Friday game. So I don't have a ticket to the game on Friday that I thought I had. Yeah, it does. But I'm going on Sunday, and I've gone to every other playoff game, so yeah, whatever. It'll be all right. And I'm expecting
at least it's not like it's not game 4 or a clinching game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if I'm going to miss one, that's probably the one to miss. Yeah. And I'll just go to a bar and watch it probably with that group.
Plus, it's the one where the refs will probably get a game for Denver.
That is, yeah, good point. That's a concern. Nick Chubb, a player that I am completely out on right now, and it worries me a little bit, but he's like returning from injury, probably not going to be that good. I don't know.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about. I saw somebody tweeting about him. I don't even remember what the tweet was, but he's somebody that I like never get regularly when he's like that end of the first round guy.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I just like never get him, probably because I'm drafting receivers. But then he goes out there and crushes. And so I saw whoever it was, tweeting something, and I was like, oh, maybe this is the year I'll actually get Nick Chubb because he's not going 12th overall.
True. I'm not drafting him because I've seen some really damning things about like the the odds of him coming back and being anywhere close to the way he was last year is like,
Yeah.
from what I've heard, is very low. But at the same time, like the Browns might just be like, whatever, he's Nick Chubb, we're just gonna give him the ball, and I might end up very much regretting that I have not been taking a ton of him. All right, getting close to our man. Dak Prescott's still there. Okay, Juice McCaffrey takes Dak Prescott. We have 1-1-5-1 right now. Did our guy go? No, Jaden Daniels still on the board. So we get that Washington stack if we want it. I assume you want Jaden Daniels here.
Yeah, as long as we're not passing on anything like really good somewhere else.
We could go Jaden Daniels and Brian Robinson, get the added correlation there.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that. It's not bad.
Like, I know Brian Robinson doesn't catch passes at all, but I don't know.
I mean, that kind of works, right? Like, if there's a scenario where Washington's offense is just good, then
right.
You have the Daniels McLaurin stack in passing weeks. You have the Robinson stack, or you have Robinson in rushing weeks.
Yeah.
Or like we were talking about, you can actually play passing game and running game together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it makes sense for our team. Have we taken Brian Robinson in all three of our drafts?
I don't think
we got him last one too. Not the first one.
We didn't take him in the first one. I don't think.
Okay, I think you're right. Jewish McCaffrey wants to know if you have any predictions on what's next for Kevin Durant and the Suns.
No, I don't really follow like contract type stuff, like transactions and stuff like that, like what teams can do. I know that, at least from what I've read and heard, that they're kind of strapped as far as, they have Beal, Booker, and Durant. So
yeah,
I don't know that there's a ton they can do, but
I've got a
I don't know. I would like them to like run it back with just like a solid team around them, because I still feel like that team should be.
They should be so good.
They should be really good. They're not, but I would kind of like to see like a full, hopefully healthy season of them.
The only reason I don't want Kevin Durant to go back there is I saw a lot of whispering going on between Kevin Durant and Ant, and I guess the only way he would come to Minnesota would be trading cap, probably. Like, they can't afford Kevin Durant, so it's probably there's actually no way it could happen. But my prediction is Kevin Durant ends up in Minnesota with Ant next year. Ant being, Kevin Durant being Ant's idol. Kevin Durant has a ton of respect for Ant. That would be the dream. But also the Timberwolves.
That means Cat's gone, though, right?
That would mean Cat's gone, and like the Timberwolves are so good, right? Cat has been so good recently. He's also like, he's been so loyal to Minnesota that now that they're good with Cat, I'm kind of like, let's just keep Cat. So yeah. Unless Kevin Durant is his contract up now? Could he just sign wherever he wants? I don't either.
I'll say I answered that question as if he was still on the Suns. I don't even know that that's.
Yeah, I don't actually either. Yeah, I don't remember what the situation is there.
He's getting paid a lot of money in 24-25.
Okay.
He is an unrestricted free agent in 2026-27. So
okay.
Yeah, he's getting
not
paid
coming to Minnesota unless there's a trade.
He's getting paid $50 million a year this year and next year.
I mean, it was always a pipe dream. Like, obviously, there's no way he was actually going to come to Minnesota without a trade either, because we can't afford him. Like, he's not going to sign a vet minimum deal to come to the Timberwolves. So really just a pipe dream.
Maybe when he's 38 and he's a free agent.
I'd probably still take him when he's 38. At that point, the Timberwolves will have a dynasty. They'll have multiple championships. I love Ant so much.
He's so easy to root for. Like, it's so good for the league and just basketball fans in general that he has turned into like, his 90th plus percentile outcome.
Yeah. I mean, at least 90th percent. I mean, just Best Ball Hunter says KD could replace Nas. I mean, I think it would have to be Cat. I don't think Nas cost enough for us. Like, I think it would just, like, from a salary standpoint, it would have to be Cat.
In my defense, Calvin and Hobo, what I was doing on my computer was looking up Kevin Durant's contract. So it was related to what we were talking about.
For those, I have not been putting this as an audio. I've been thinking about putting it out as a podcast. Somebody requested that I put it as a podcast. I haven't been doing it because I can't imagine there's that many people who want to watch or like listen to best ball streams.
Yeah.
Especially when I don't have a guest and I I'm not sane enough to make it interesting. But Kelvin Hoba says, Adam doing something on his computer and not hearing what the host said, giving me some big flashbacks. That's funny.
Yeah.
I do
was
it to Adam
actually
all the
not
time too.
ignoring you though. So
Yeah. I feel like it was usually me ignoring you when we were on the MLB streams because it was like because of the way we did it, where I would ask you a question and then you would give me a bunch of information about baseball players, and I was just like reading chat and like figuring out what I'm gonna have to, when am I gonna do the ad read, that kind of stuff, and then I was just like, I have no idea what you just said half the time.
Yeah. I would do it to Josh and Lofty all the time because so I used to like back in the day I used to not open chat, and then finally one of them got me to start opening it, and once I did that, like my attention span just out the window. Like
it's tough.
Multiple times per show. I have no idea what's going on. But then also with those guys, like you'll just get a random aside or tangent. And I'm like, okay, like I'm not listening anymore. You know, like eventually you'll stop talking and I'll notice and come back.
Yeah. I guess we could have gone Dallas Goedert with that. We could have gone Jaden Daniels and Dallas Goedert finish off our tight end room, but we have
that would have been good.
Yeah. Would have made sense for us. We only have a single stack. Whatever. I'm good with it. All right. This is the draft we're not going to take. I know we have Rico Dowdle both times so far, so I think we don't do Rico Dowdle this time. Jacoby Myers. Hang on. Oh, we have a lot of good wide receivers. We could go Zach Charbonnet, Blake Corum.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Just like running back talent and hope it works out.
Yeah. All right, that's fun. So now we're up to 2 quarterbacks, really fun. Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels. We have Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Robinson, Zach Charbonnet, and Blake Corum at running back. At wide receivers, we have Marvin Harrison, Devontae Smith, Terry McLaurin, Christian Watson, and Deontay Johnson. Tight end, we have Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, with how everything played out, that probably is a mistake that we didn't go Goddard over Robinson.
Yeah, probably. But also, Robinson, I think is good. Like I think
yeah.
Where he's going in the draft, like that's I think a pretty fair value on Brian Robinson.
He's another guy I'm biased against. Even like as we're watching, I don't like. I like him. I want him to do well. Like I think he is solid. I think it's mostly just that I was like such an Antonio Gibson truther.
Oh yeah, right. I forget. I think you drafted a lot of Antonio Gibson in best ball or something.
I drafted a ton of Antonio Gibson.
Yeah. Okay. I actually did too because he was going very late in drafts, where it was like not very clear that Brian Robinson is the guy, and now he was shot, and it was like
if they use Gibson, because the whole thing with Gibson was like, and this always gets tricky too, and I don't think it's another thing that just like doesn't get talked about with enough nuance. I didn't think they were using Gibson correctly as far as he had the ability to do so much more than they were giving him the chance to. But these guys, the coaching staff also sees these players every single day, and yeah, sometimes they're just idiots and they're wrong. But a lot of the time, the reason they're not using them quote unquote correctly is because they're not capable of doing what you, who watches highlights and drafts best ball tournaments, thinks that they're capable of doing.
Right. Well, it also goes back to your point on if you can't pass block, you're not going to be
perfect example.
Is the pass catching back?
Yeah.
I have no idea if Antonio Gibson is a good pass blocker, but he seems like one who might not have been a great pass blocker.
If I remember correctly, he's not. Yeah. And I learned that one with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like he gets drafted in the first round by the Chiefs. His best skill set or his best skill at LSU is catching passes. And everybody is losing their mind. Like, oh, the Chiefs are so stupid. You drafted this pass catching running back and you're not even giving him third downs to do what he does best.
Right.
And it was just like, yeah, they're not going to let Patrick Mahomes get killed because this guy can't pass block.
Right. Yep. All right, we're coming back around. Jewish McCaffrey says was pretty disappointed in Book in the playoffs, and Beal seems disgruntled. Seems like a repeat of Nets KD, great on paper, then totally flops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It frustrates me. Like I want KD to do well. He's from the same county I'm from, so like I always have rooted for him.
Cool.
Yeah, like it frustrates me because whether it's true or not, the more times that this fails, the worse it looks on him. Like it looks like his fault, and just makes him look bad in general for one reason or another. So that's another reason I think that I want them to run it back and it just to work. Kind of like with the Wolves when they got Gobert. A bunch of people were like, "Oh, there's no way this works," blah blah blah.
Right.
And I was on the side of like, I think this could be really good.
Right.
And then they start out horribly, and it doesn't work, and everybody's like, "Oh, this sucks." Well, we were right. And then, of course, you don't hear anything about that this year.
Right.
But it was like I want them to run this back as like a cohesive unit that has played together and see how this goes. I want the same thing with Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah, I want the Wolves to be a dynasty, so I don't really care about Phoenix. That's
Right.
my opinion there. I want them to be worse than the Wolves. That's all I really care about.
Yeah, I do not need to worry about anybody Washington dynasties or how anybody else in the NBA's team looks for a
Right.
while.
Yeah. I also like I'm getting way ahead of myself in saying I want the Wolves to be a dynasty. Like a lot of people are like writing off Denver, and it feels like Denver is just like they're out of it. They're just like
Yeah,
they've given up. But also like they're Denver. Like I'm still nervous about the Wolves winning this series, and then it's like then they run into OKC, then it's Boston. It's like a lot of people are talking about the Wolves like, oh, I think they're really gonna win this year. It's like there's a lot of
yeah,
tough road ahead.
yeah, yeah. I considered the boom value Denver plus 600 or whatever. I didn't pull it though.
Yeah. Jahan Dotson goes. We could have added him onto our stack if he, but I mean, he's I think his ADP is like 140 ish. So
Yeah.
I was kind of a pipe dream that he was going to come back to us.
No idea if he's even good. Like his rookie year, he
Yeah.
seemed really good, and then last year he seems really bad.
Yep. Agreed. Like he's I think in the leg up ranks, he's like really late, like way like his ADP is like 138. I think his leg up rank is like 30 picks past that. So
Yeah,
so it's like I'll take him because I might take him when I have Jaden Daniels. Otherwise, it's probably a
yeah.
pass for me.
That was one of like because I wasn't really a big Sam Howell fan. I thought he was getting way overhyped when he was playing,
Let's
but that was like
go.
one of the points. Oh, we're up.
Ben Sinnott comes to us right at ADP, part of our
There we go.
stack,
Yeah.
second tight end. This was my dream here when we did not take Dallas
Right.
Goddard
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
to be able
Exactly.
to add Ben Sinnott to the stack.
Just to watch Zach Ertz get all the snaps
I
over
mean,
him.
probably. We do have Jermaine Burton here again too.
Yeah, we can snipe the Joe Burrow guy.
Yeah. Unless we want to go one of these running backs, but I feel like we're both just in on Jermaine Burton.
Yeah, I mean, I just like a guy that is cheap and
Yeah.
potentially heavily involved on the Bengals.
Yeah, me too. And a lot in that running back group, like one of them might fall back to us too. So
Yeah, yeah. There were so many names there, like, and
yeah,
none of them stand out as somebody you have to have.
right. It's like yeah, all of them they feel very similar to me. Jewish McCaffrey says, feel like Goddard is a tier break at tight end, whereas I really like B Rob, but there are a handful of guys in the same tier if pass him. That is kind of true. Like I think Dallas Goddard to me is the end of a tier, and I know this is these are your first best ball drafts, right, Adam?
Yeah,
So you don't have like the
this is my
experience.
first time looking at best ball rankings or anything.
Whereas I did 200 pre-draft drafts, and
Yeah,
this is like my 15th, whatever. Yeah, Dallas Goddard like feels like a pretty big tier. It used to be for a little while. It was blurred when it was like Dalton Schultz was right behind him, and then
right.
they signed Stephon Diggs, and it's like, and also the Bears drafted Romo Dunze, so it was like Cole Kmet loses a lot of steam. Dalton Schultz loses steam, so it really feels like there was kind of a tier break after Dallas Goddard. Oh, and even actually Michael Mayer too. Like they're all the guys who were
Right, 'cause they
past
drafted
Dallas Goddard. They all yeah they
Bowers.
drafted Brock Bowers, so now it's
Right,
like
right,
all
yeah,
those guys lost so much steam for me after the draft, and yeah, it definitely feels like that is a tier break. But because we got Sinnott, I feel okay about it. He's a guy that I don't know what Ben Sinnott is. I know Sean Siegel referred to him as this year's Sam Laporta. I think it was half tongue in cheek. I don't really know Sean Siegel well enough to know, but I think it was sort of half tongue in cheek that he is this year's.
I knew he went to Kansas State. I didn't even say it because I was like, "There's no way that's right." But
Look at
I'm,
you.
I'm
You're just a big college football guy.
yeah, I'm nailing these colleges.
You're this the new Ben Rossa. Every
Right.
college.
I
Is it
can't tell
Ben
you.
or Gajewski?
I mean,
Or
I know
maybe
Kansas State
both.
mascot, but
Yeah. I think it was both. Ben and Gajewski were just like they know every like they have memorized the college that every
yeah.
player went to.
Ben knows the mascot of every college,
Of course he does.
like every college, not like the D1 football colleges, like every college.
I want to know if he knows the Tufts University mascot.
Do they have a
That's
mascot?
Yeah, we have a mascot.
Oh, you went okay.
I went there. Yeah, we are the Tufts Jumbos. It's an elephant.
Nah,
Yeah,
he probably knows that.
yeah.
Do they have any sports teams whatsoever?
You're talking to a Division III college athlete, Adam. Yeah, we
Am I?
have sports teams.
Oh, I didn't know.
I was a cross country runner
Oh.
and track,
I
cross
think
country
maybe
and track.
I might
Yeah.
have known that.
Yeah, it was all conference, all division. I wanted to say I was all American. I was never close to all American. Even Division III, I was never close to all American. Yeah, but we had football, basketball, all the sports.
Okay.
Never. I don't think they were very good. I don't think we ever have like
Yeah,
any particularly good sports.
he probably knows then.
Yeah. Actually, I say that, and we did finish my sophomore year. I think we got fifth in Division 3 nationals cross country. So
That'll work.
we and our, so I was on the some of the better teams, I think.
Is D3 cross country and track? I know like baseball, there's some really good D3 schools because it's like guys just go there basically and then transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there are definitely some very good schools. I don't know if there are no schools that can compete with like good D1 schools, obviously, but like I
There's
think
a
that
lot of
like
D3 schools that are better than D2 schools.
yeah, I think that that is the case for
Yeah.
cross country and track also. Like when somebody tells me that they ran cross country Division 2, I don't assume that they were better than me. Maybe I
Right.
should. Maybe that's
No,
wrong. Like
that makes
they
sense.
probably were, but I don't know. But yeah, I think that there's also like just fewer D2 schools than D3, so it's just like by
Sounds right.
the volume of runners. I think I also might be totally wrong about that. That's just my impression is that D3 is much bigger than D2.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And I don't even remember the reasoning anymore why like in baseball a lot of people would I think they would kind of just like treat D3 as community college and then transfer, but I don't remember like I know so, like I initially went to a D1 school where I had no chance at playing baseball. They were like top 10 in the country. And then I transferred to a D3 that was one of the best D3s in the country. And so like even that I was like that's a really good baseball team.
Jewish McCaffrey, come on, man. Takes Luke McCaffrey. What happened to you to the influencer non-pick?
Yeah, right.
I thought we were friends. All right, we could go Pop Douglas here. We probably needed some more running back strength here. We could go Jaleel McLaughlin. Oh, Tyrone Tracy actually kind of. He is
Yeah, I
the
love
he's
that
the
guy.
rookie running back that the Giants signed. I think he's kind of fun. I think he might be talented.
I have no idea
Um,
where that guy went.
I know that. Oh, you don't know where he went. I guess I didn't know that because you've been surprising me all night. We could go. So let's go Tyrone Tracy, and then we could go Pop Douglas, Jaleel McLaughlin. Do you have any takes
I
here?
like Pop. I think I like Pop Douglas, just kind of trying to get that potential wide receiver one.
Still feels like the likeliest to me to be the wide receiver one
Yeah,
there, although I have no idea really what the likelihood is there. Like he was pretty good last year, I think. Cool name, like the name Pop Douglas. Oh, that is true. Jewish McCaffrey had to get one McCaffrey. That's fair. Um, oh, he went to Purdue. Good to see you,
yeah,
Josh, in chat.
yeah. That's a name I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, Josh, I don't think you've showed up to my best ball streams recently. Um, let's see. What was JMC saying? How bad of a job is MLB doing in promoting baseball that Otani is the greatest player of our lifetime and it gets one? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not great.
they are so bad at promoting. Talk about the robot ump thing. I think that I'm still more for it than most people are, but I get it. People
I
want a
kind of
little.
like the challenge. I haven't watched a lot of AAA games, but I saw one or two like Norfolk Tide games. I kind of liked some version of the challenge system they had, where
Yeah,
you still have umpires, um, but you can just kind of quickly say like review that, and they got the answer like immediately. It's not like you had to go to the replay booth or something.
yeah, that seems like a good system. Give them a number of challenges. All right. Transfer portal is kind of cool. I agree with that. I like the college athletes can make money now.
Yeah,
A lot of good
I
changes there.
and I realized that like I'm not the target audience here because like I'm not a college sports fan.
Right.
So for me, there's no downside. Like these guys get to make more money. I don't care where or how many times they transfer or how annoying it is for
Yeah.
your favorite team or whatever. I
Right.
get it if like you're a diehard college sports fan and now it's just like it's turned into like the thing that sucks about pro sports, right? Like I love the Orioles right now and I already know that in 5 years these guys are gone,
Right.
or at least a lot of them are gone, and it sucks. So like turning college sports into like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna be gone next year, so I better enjoy it this year. Like, yeah, I get that sucks if you're like a diehard fan. For me, my only interest is that, yeah, I think it's awesome these guys are getting paid.
Right. They're at the top of the game. They should get paid
Right.
well. And there's also like a lot of times like college athletes, like great college athletes, get hurt early in their career and just never
Yeah.
make that money. It just gives them a little bit more time to benefit from being elite at something that so many people are trying to be elite at.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, again, from my point of view, there's no downside because these guys, and like you get the whole, oh, they're getting free education, blah blah. They're bringing in so much money to their university.
Yeah.
Like they deserve what they're getting paid.
Yeah. You saw it with the like I feel like the like the college the women's college basketball, like the coverage there was so much more, I think, than
Right.
WNBA ever is this year. It's like they should be getting more money because they have
Right.
so much coverage. And now, of course, Caitlin Clark, they're bringing it to the WNBA now, I think.
Yeah.
But like, yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, just like the whole like scholarship thing falls apart when like I got a scholarship and I brought zero value to my university. So you can't tell me that the stud quarterback is being compensated correctly because he's getting the same free education that I am.
right. What university did you go to? I don't think I know this.
I initially went to Coastal Carolina and then I graduated from Salisbury.
Is Salisbury in
Salisbury's
Maryland?
D3 in Maryland.
Okay,
Coastal Carolina D1 in Myrtle Beach or outside of Myrtle Beach,
gotcha.
South Carolina.
That's fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've maybe been. No, I don't think I've been to Myrtle Beach. I don't know.
Coastal won the College World Series, but it was a few years after I had gone there.
Oh wow, that's cool. What position I'd go if I had your team for my last two picks, JMC? Let's see. Your team, you have Dak and Geno's probably fine. Walker, Warren, Ford, Dowdle, I'd probably find there. I don't know. I kind of like your team. I feel like you're in a pretty good setup here. Yeah, you're set at tight end. I would probably go one wide receiver, maybe two wide receivers. But you're in a good enough spot. I'd just go with talent. Who do you like? I think. He has enough experience with this. He's just asking like to be conversational. Like
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I'll say I started to chime in and I was like, in May, I have no idea.
Yeah. Oh, it's our pick. All right. So we have Hertz and Daniels. I don't think we have any stacking options to add here. I feel like we probably need one more running back.
I was
here.
thinking like one more, just kind of like this could work out type running backs. All right, we're good at. Are we good at receiver? Like
Probably.
okay,
Will Shipley.
so like Shipley,
Dante
yeah,
Thorne. Yeah. Shipley seems good.
it works with the Eagles too.
Oh yeah, that's true. And then a wide receiver. I mean, we have Harrison, Devontae Smith, Terry
Yeah,
McLaurin.
yeah. I mean, if we're not good, this team just sucks.
Yeah.
Is there another running back? Or
We could go. CEH is sort of interesting. Evan Hall was actually Deontay Foreman could be
Yeah, we
good
could do
this
that.
year. Like I think he's one of those guys that like he might be like if Nick Chubb is
if Nick Chubb
back,
dies, yeah.
he might just be. No, I'm saying if Nick Chubb is back, he could just be like the running back 3 who never gets any opportunity. But I think he's actually a pretty good running back.
Right? Yeah, I was saying if like Nick Chubb is just like washed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gerardo, you want to see? I'm doing this. I forget I can't do this. I got to do grid view. You have Best Ball Monitor. It has Kyler and Tua as his quarterbacks with Trey McBride. He has Jalen Waddle, Trey McBride. Any other stacks? Doesn't look like. So single stacks on both, which is probably fine. It's really hard to find double stacks with Tua. Would have been fun if you had added if you had added Janu here instead of with one of these picks. Maybe I would have gone Janu just to add to the stack. But in general, I think you've just got the single stack, right? Trey McBride. Yeah, just a single stack. If you can add Greg Dortch here, I would consider adding Greg Dortch to your Arizona stack.
I was say, is he still in Arizona?
Yeah, he is still in Arizona. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 receivers. Yeah, that would be complete your team, in my opinion, if you add Greg Dortch there. But yeah, it looks like a solid enough team. You got the anchor RB situation, some strong wide receivers. Oh yeah, you get both of the. If Rashee Rice is out, you got both of the top receivers there, probably for Kansas City. He's considering Greg Dortch. He's not totally sold. Oh, he goes Brendan Rice. I don't like. I like Brendan Rice as a late round pick. Probably for me, I would have broken the tie since you only have single stacks. I would have gone tried to double up that stack, but I get it. All right, let's see. Damn, you got Dak 22 picks past 80. He has been falling some recently. It's kind of interesting. Brockstar wishing you well, Adam. Good to see you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you should get in some of these drafts with me, Michael. I'll be doing tomorrow afternoon. Me and Bindles are going to be doing a draft either 3 or 3:30 Eastern. I had in my mind 3 o'clock, but I saw him post that we're doing 3:30, and I don't really care, so I might just switch it up to 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central tomorrow. I'll post it tomorrow morning when we do it, and I should give you guys a reminder. If you join my Discord, you can get alerts when these shows go live, or if you just hit the notification button on YouTube, you can get alerts whenever my shows go live. Since this is best ball whenever, it does kind of change from day to day. As you can see, we're doing a draft tonight. Usually I've been drafting in the afternoon, in part because Timberwolves, making a deep playoff run. I have softball Tuesday nights, so can't draft as frequently in the evening as I like to. And actually, usually on Wednesdays, I'm doing playing for keeps in the evening. I had a late cancellation there this week, so I just switched it up to do best ball whenever, and pretty happy with it. Since I got Adam on, I feel like this worked out pretty well to not do playing for keeps this week. Just get Adam back on, because that's what the people really want, is just Adam to be a fixture on this channel. So
yeah, just me on every YouTube channel.
Yeah, on every YouTube channel. Exactly right. This guy, such an ego. The ego on this guy. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at the teams one last time. This is our final draft here. I got to go put my dog to bed. Adam's got to probably go to bed or something. I don't know. It's it's 11:45 there. Do you go to bed around now, Adam?
Yeah. Yeah. I try to.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we got Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels at quarterback. That's fun. We got Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Robinson, Zach Charbonnet, Blake Corum, Tyrone Tracy, Will Shipley, and Deontay Foreman at running back. So we did the 7 running back build. We got Marvin Harrison, Devontae Smith, Terry McLaurin, Christian Watson, Deontay Johnson, Jermaine Burton, and Pop Douglas at wide receiver. And at tight end, we got Kyle Pitts and Ben Sinnott. I think it's kind of a fun team, Adam. I don't know if it's going to be good, but it's definitely a fun team.
I don't think it's a very good team, but I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's like high upside, but like the floor is pretty low.
It's like a bunch of dudes that I'll probably play a lot in DFS but it's going to partly be because they're not very expensive, because they're not very good.
Yeah, exactly right. Mostly your Washington guys. I think the Jaden Daniels, Ben Sinnott stack is feels fun. This feels like such a fun stack.
The Washington stack has felt fun for the entire time best ball's been around, and it has never actually been fun.
Right.
Carson Wentz stack however many years ago was fun.
Good point. Now we can look at your best ball moderate. We can look at your team in full. Kyler Murray and Tua at quarterback. He has Breece Hall, David Montgomery, Austin Eckler, Chase Brown, J.K. Dobbins, Elijah Mitchell at running back. At wide receiver, he has Chris Olave, Jalen Waddle, Xavier Worthy, Marquise Brown, Ricky Pearsall, Gabe Davis, and then made a huge mistake with his last pick. Didn't take Greg Dortch and instead took Brendan Rice. No, that's good. And then he has Trey McBride, Isaiah Likely, and Mike Gesicki. Looks like a pretty strong team. How do you feel about stacking in general, Adam? Are you generally you just do doing single stacks, or are you you try to double stack more frequently?
I mean, if it makes sense, I like to double stack. I wouldn't say that I go out of my way. If I have a single stack solidified, then I generally don't go too far out of my way to get more, but it also depends on the offense. If you're talking about, when we were talking about, having Indianapolis, I don't care about reaching. I wouldn't want to reach for Josh Downs in addition to Mitchell when you already have a rushing quarterback, and that offense probably won't be great. If it's I don't have a great example because everything I'm thinking of doesn't work. But if it's an offense that I think is going to be really good, and there's a double stack I can make, then I'm more likely to reach because I really like the offense.
Yeah, I'm trying to think Dallas maybe would be a good example. If you take CeeDee Lamb, you get Dak Prescott, and you have the opportunity to reach 10 picks and take Brandon Cooks at 130. To me, that's where you
something like that.
Reach there. If
great
values,
the examples I immediately thought of were Philly, and was well, you're not It's Hurts, Smith, Brown. You don't have the opportunity. Buffalo last year, for example, to some extent, although I still didn't really get that much Gabe Davis. But if I had Allen and Diggs, I'm looking to get Kincaid or Davis or Knox or somebody relatively aggressively, because I really like that offense.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense.
I
Yeah,
also think the double stacks make more sense on DraftKings again, just because you get 2 extra picks to get upside to make up for your reaches. Whereas on
that is true.
Underdog, you reach, you don't get those 2 picks to say like, oh, I'm going to take this flyer high upside guy.
Yeah, I think that I'm probably like I probably am more adamant about trying to get double stacks than you are, but I'm still not like generally reaching far. Like I think I'm like largely on the same page as you, is like rushing quarterbacks. I'm not trying to get 2 receivers. Like I'm not trying to reach for 2 receivers when I have a rushing quarterback.
Yeah, that's a
But I
big piece for me.
like if it's not a rushing quarterback, I like to have 2 or 3 pass catchers with my quarterback
Yeah,
in general. Like I like those are the teams that I feel the best about, are the ones where I end up with 3 pass catchers, or like 2 with a running back, whatever, with my quarterback, with each of my quarterbacks. That feels really good to me to just have,
yeah,
make full on team bets in general.
yeah.
But yeah,
And to that
definitely like
point, I will
something.
say that I don't know if like I like it more than other people or not, but I know it doesn't get talked about as much. The stacking without the quarterback is a thing that I think you should probably be paying attention to and doing.
Yep.
I know we had talked about it in like that early draft where it worked out really well, but
Yeah.
like everybody focuses on single stack, double stack. How are you stacking with your quarterbacks? Like you're still stacking if you just get 2 guys from Baltimore, 2 guys from Atlanta, 2 guys from Buffalo.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, honestly, I didn't really consider a couple years ago. It's like something that's like sort of, after listening to a lot of content and hearing smart people talk about it, it's like I've come around to the idea of like, yeah, I guess if I have 2 receivers from the same team and then somebody snipes me on the quarterback, it's not the end of the world. Like I'm still
Right.
making the bet on that offense. It used to be, and I guess it helps me tilt a little bit less when people
Well,
snipe me when I have
and there's
made a
multiple
team bet.
reasons too, and multiple ways to think about it. Like one, the obvious reason why it's just like a good strategy to, as a very, at the very least as a tiebreaker, like you already have wide receiver 1, grab wide receiver 2 if you don't have the quarterback, is if that offense is good, which is what you're hoping for wide receiver 1, it's good for wide receiver 2 also most of the time. But you also get the added benefit of, again, it's a natural way to be contrarian in the postseason when it's hard to be contrarian because teams that advance look so similar. If Buffalo, again, last year, Buffalo, just is amazing, and a high percentage of teams that advance are Bill stacks, and you have Diggs and you have Gabe Davis, a high percentage of your opponents are going to have those 2 guys and have Josh Allen. If your actual stack was like Mahomes and Kelsey, or the rounds don't work out, but whatever, some other Cousins and Jefferson,
Yeah.
and then one of maybe one of those Bills receivers has a really good game in the playoffs, but Cousins and Jefferson goes nuts. You're jumping those Josh Allen teams if Josh Allen just has like a normal game.
Right. Just a way to be contrarian in those playoff weeks sometimes. Yeah. I mean, that's true. There's a lot of benefits to having
Yeah,
those secondary correlations that honestly, I didn't consider. Like my first year playing best ball, I started doing it more last year, and this year, like I've been doing a lot of the secondary correlations. Yeah.
yeah.
I think it
It's something.
makes a
It's
lot of
another thing
sense.
where like it's obviously different than DFS, but if you look at the way good DFS players play, you can get a lot out of that for best ball, and you see it all the time. Again, going back to me realizing that like this was a thing you should do in DFS, play a running back and a wide receiver together or
Right.
whatever. You just want guys from good offenses and take your chances because you really can't predict how games are going to go. Like a team scores 24 points. That can be 2 touchdowns to each receiver. It can be, 2 random guys score and then 1 receiver gets 2 touchdowns. Like just getting to teams that are going to score points is really useful.
Yeah. Yep. Well said. All right. Our final team that was drafting with us here, as far as I know, was JMC, which we already kind of went over, but he has Dak Geno at quarterback. He had Kenneth Walker, Jalen Warren, Jerome Ford, Rico Dowdle, Kendra Miller, Julian McLaughlin, and Dylan Lobby at running back. At wide receiver, he has AJ Brown, Drake London, DK Metcalf, Cooper Kupp, Christian Kirk, Luke McCaffrey, and Elijah Moore. At tight end, Jake Ferguson, David Njoku. Looks like a very strong team that you ended up with as well. But I think that does it for looking at these teams. I need to go put my dog to bed. Let's see. Wait. No, I didn't need to. I'm trying to change the visual here, Adam, and I need your producer. Oh, it's actually pretty good. I actually like that. I switched it up. Just changed the layout here, and it actually worked out pretty well. I like that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Adam, where can people find your stuff?
At ShipMyMoney DFS YouTube channel, also my Twitter account. But I've been doing game by game MLB breakdowns every day this week. That's going to continue. I'll probably start adding some other stuff as well. But yeah, same as my Twitter handle, YouTube channel.
Yeah, go check him out. He's been just started out this week doing the MLB streams daily for MLB DFS. I have not been playing MLB DFS, so but I think that I probably will start checking in on your streams to do some daily. I think it's also useful for daily drafts. No?
Yeah, probably. I also might do some NBA stuff. I don't know. Like I'm tempted to, but I also don't. I'm enjoying it right now. And so it's like everything. I'm like, oh, I could do that. I could do that. And I know that's going to burn me out sooner than later.
At some point, you're gonna be like, I wish I hadn't started doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
All these
so,
streams.
There might be some impromptu NBA stuff if you follow me on Twitter, but I'll let you know. But yeah, maybe some NBA, definitely some MLB.
Cool. All right. Well, go follow Adam on Twitter. He'll let you know if he ends up doing that stuff. Go get into his Discord as well. Of course, you can find all the notifications to get his stuff. Thank you, Adam, for hanging out. Thank you all for hanging out with us for these past 3 hours. This was a ton of fun for me. Hopefully, we'll have Adam back on the channel at some point in the future. Do another draft at some point. And I'll be back tomorrow with Bindles tomorrow afternoon. So come check that out. Of course, go join the Flannelverse Discord in the comments here. If you haven't already joined, I'm going to be in there actively. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Catch you later.